I am here vibing with one of the giants in Jamaica's entertainment space. He is one of the most successful artist manager in the history of Jamaica's music. He is also an accomplished producer and songwriter. His parents named him Robert Livingston, and today he shares his story. Father Robert.
Bless up, sir.
Man couldn't pass with father. You know.
Around the thing long time.
He does have more money than him. Oh, this is a great man.
Yeah, man. Can't complain. I mean, have life and still in the business.
Awesome,
you know, so,
awesome.
It's here with me same way.
Awesome. Talk to us though, early life, place of birth.
I was born in St. Elizabeth.
Oh yeah?
Yes, and I was growing up in Kingston.
We're in St. Elizabeth.
A place called Treasure Beach side.
Treasure Beach.
Between, it's right there, between Southfield and Treasure
I
Beach.
know where Treasure Beach is well.
Yeah, so,
okay.
yeah.
So how old were you or young were you when you came to Kingston? Yes.
Well, back and forth, I've been always going back and forth from Kingston, and then because my father used to sell at Coronation Market.
Okay. Oh, Daddy was a farmer.
Yeah, and my aunt used to live downtown Kingston, so I had a big connection with downtown Kingston.
So when you came Kingston side, where in Kingston you used to spend time?
I spent a lot of time downtown. And Pembroke Hall and places like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you attended school?
Well, my schooling, I kind of get through out of school a lot. So I go through a lot of different schooling. I went St. Andrew Tech for a minute. I went St. Stet's in St. Elizabeth.
Okay.
So,
St. Elizabeth Technical.
yeah, I never finished high school.
Never finished high school?
No, never.
Yeah?
Never finished high school.
So why were you being thrown out of school though?
You know, it goes in the street.
In the street.
My mother died when I was pretty young.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I didn't have a lot of mentor to keep me grounded. My father was basically there, but because he mostly spent time in the country and I'm in Kingston, so he's like kind of, you know. But,
yes.
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters?
I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters actually.
And all of them are still alive?
Yeah.
It's a blessing, that man.
Yeah, man.
And the old man still around?
No, he passed.
He passed last year.
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah, last year.
My condolences really passed on the old man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what was it? So you said that, you know, mommy passed whilst you were young and daddy was busy trying to put food on the table.
Yeah, man.
Yeah? You growing up St. Elizabeth, Kingston, and the schooling thing is you know, how you now got involved in because everybody know you to be one of the famed producer, artist, manager, a little publishing, a little songwriting, all over the place, right? So how now did the musical journey started for you?
My dad was a DJ too, in the early part. Didn't see much of him
yeah?
doing that, yeah. But he loves music, and my friends who I grew up around was all in music.
I mean on the Kingston side?
On the Kingston side.
Both sides?
Well, no, in Kingston.
Okay.
I didn't know much about what happened in St. Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
I know much about Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
The thing for me growing up around, like, one of my first friend that I would get really close to in the music business was Junior Delgado.
Okay.
And Junior Delgado was a close friend of Dennis Brown. So being a friend of Junior Delgado, it leads me on to being around them at 125 Orange Street, Cash and Carry.
Cash and Carry.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I was pretty young at that time too. Or maybe I think I was about 15, 16 years old.
And Cash and Carry was an amalgamation of about 3 labels, I think.
Yeah, 3. African Museum,
that's African
Dead
Museum.
Music, Lego Music, and there was and also Solomonic.
That is Bunny Wailer.
Bunny Wailers.
Ah.
So I'm now amongst the giants in the music industry.
But how you end up on 125?
Yeah.
Orange Street.
Yeah.
Oh, you end up there, so do like.
That's what I'm saying. My friend Junior Delgado.
Junior.
But I used to pass Orange Street every day, you know.
Okay.
Running up and down, and I ride bike too. So I was a wicked bike rider from Trenchtown to the whole of downtown.
Yeah.
Without Trenchtown, without 5th Street, without 3rd Street, without all over the place. And those places were places like you used to growing up and being around it. It's not a strange place to you.
Before we pick up about cash and carry, yeah? After the school thing ended, what were you doing between that time and your time where you actually started going around?
I was always an active person. I used to have people sell stars for me, star newspaper.
Sell for you?
Yeah, and then I had me wrapping bags in the supermarket.
Okay.
So I used to do Sovereign and Orange Street, and then Ocean Supermarket open up downtown, and me that. Me always do something. Always do something. And that's why a lot of people they like about me too. Me never one of them person where a youth where always that beg or hang around. Me always
in the street that you have anything work.
I do something. Constantly.
So Junior now is the reason why you ended up at Cash and Carry.
Yeah, Junior Delgado.
Yeah, and there now you had the likes of Gregory Isaacs, you said Dennis Brown,
yes.
Lego, and Bunny Wailer.
And Bunny Wailer too. Yeah.
So you were there, you just used to go just build, chill.
Yeah, and most of the time I'm in the evening too. And me get well accepted. You know, me go around a ital shop on the lane go eat food. Me can go ital shop and order food, even if I don't have no money. And the people in the neighborhood are right around there and was good with me. Me and everybody good. And it's like, it becomes, and then me used to hang out in a big yard too, up at the top of Orange Street.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Big yard. So that's where the whole idea comes from.
Oh, okay. We'll pick up that further down the road.
Yeah.
But at this time though, were you entertaining any musical thoughts like say, okay, you know something in music me go really take on? Like,
No.
or you just a par with the region them?
For me, I becomes I would say a person who can help do something.
Okay.
I end up start to help clear the products that come from abroad for the shop.
Okay.
Because I know start doing messenger work. I was picking up manifests for a company at the wharf.
Okay.
So all them manifests that used to come to the airport, I used to pick it up. And they used to pay me $15 a one.
15, okay.
Those days was $15, and I used to go out there, pick it up, bring it back. And then I started to get to know a lot of custom broker. And my network started build. So me always have access to information or things. Plus, I was a tough dude in the street too.
Street credit up.
Yeah, man, street credit is tough.
So that kind of work for you?
It worked for me. you know, see that red boy and come step to him like you can walk him over. It never worked.
So knowing the street and the street credit, and you had friends who were known, kind of everything started come together.
Yeah, man. And once you realize that, and once people realize that you are a person that you can be around, and like you hang on and become the problem person, or you can't do something. Man used to send me out and go and come back, send me out again, go and come back. I never complain. I was never a complaining person.
You just do the do one.
Yeah. Just don't disrespect me.
Just don't disrespect me.
No.
I know that Junior was a very good friend growing up, but you became very close to Gregory.
Very, very close. Till me becomes when I'm soldier.
Yes, I think you went on the road with him to England.
Yeah.
Which year was that, if you can recall?
I think it's 80 or 81.
81.
I think it's either 80 or 81.
Yes. What type of role you played on that trip though? Like, what were you doing?
Boy, I can tell you the truth. I was just be a person that anything for do, you know.
Anything for do.
Anything for do. And me never really wait for somebody to ask me to do something.
If you see it for do, you just get it
man.
done.
Yeah. Me not really one of them person I got think say me too big for this or nobody can take me for no boy or me never stay that way there.
Who accompanied Gregory on that tour?
Lego. His name is Trevor Douglas.
Trevor,
Lego
right.
So he was a part of that tour.
Was there any other artists who was there?
No. That tour actually was Gregory
alone?
Yeah.
How long was it? How long were you guys out of the country for?
I think it was about a month and a half, or a couple weeks. Well, but I went to England first.
Before
the tour.
Oh.
I got to England when Gregory was there. He did an operation.
Okay.
So when he left, I decided to go there at that time, and I went and see him.
Okay.
And that was my first time going to England. Then Dennis Brown had Deb Music there, so I have a lot of place to go. I hang out with John Jalaz, the producer, Lindbergh Thompson, Clint Eastwood, Barrington Levy. Everybody was up there at that time. England had a great influence on myself in terms of the business itself. And I think for me, looking back and see, I was always have an interest in maybe saying, okay, I like this business.
So you were starting to fall in love with it?
Yeah. And I love music, period.
Okay.
But I didn't want to say I love music because it's a monetary thing and I can see a life out of it. I fall in love with the aspect of be a part of it, to maybe help do something to make it successful.
Yes.
In whatever way I could. It's not necessarily for me, but for the person that I'm around. I wasn't looking at for me to be successful. I think if I help, like Gregory Isaacs was very kind to me, Lego, the whole team, Dennis, everybody was good to me. And I was one of that man who could drive, can ride. I was hands-on.
Can do the thing.
Yeah, man.
So coming back from England now with Gregory, how did the musical journey progress from there though?
Actually, when I came back from England, I don't remember what period it was, but when I came back from England, I was at the shop for a little bit and then I went back to England just to go back to see some friends and relatives and so forth. And then second time when I came back, Gregory Isaacs was doing a second tour, I think it was. And I went on that second tour also. It wasn't a lot of shows. That time Dan Taylor was managing Gregory Isaacs.
Okay, the great Dan Taylor?
Yeah, Dan Taylor. And he actually took me to 2 meetings with him.
Oh yeah? Dan?
Dan Taylor. One of the meetings actually, and I actually doing a book right now, and some of this gonna be like, they're gonna be, because I'm saying so much, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but Dan Taylor took me to a meeting because he noticed that I was always interested in the business and interested in doing things. So he, I think it was about 11 o'clock one day. I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember. And he was going to this meeting and I said to him, can I come? And he said, yeah man, come. And he took me to the meeting. It was with Charisma Record.
Okay.
Gregory Isaacs signed to Charisma Record. And Gregory Isaacs, I think they were planning to put out an album called Lonely Lover, I think it was, if I could remember. But more Gregory, it was one of them.
Okay.
But when he went to the meeting now, he got into the meeting and he told me to wait outside. But I could hear everything he was saying.
Right.
And he intentionally did it. And when he finished at the meeting, he came out and he asked me what I thought about the meeting. I said, I don't really have much experience, but I can tell you something. I see after you leave the meeting, everybody was comfortable and you have everybody happy.
Okay.
And he said to me, you observe a lot, smart. Because if you leave these people upset, they're not going to do good business with you. And I don't represent myself, I represent an artist. So even if it was my intention to feel, I couldn't satisfy myself.
To do the best interest for the artist.
You have to do the best interest for the artist.
Lesson number one.
Lesson number one.
Yeah.
I never forget it. Never forget it. So, but anyway, I realized that I was doing that anyway. Because when I was around everybody, I was kind of doing things to make sure, kind of do things to help. You know what I mean? Whatever goes. I wasn't just, and when I've been around Gregory, I remember on tour, I start boiling water, put it in milk bottle for if you get thirsty on stage, you know. And those days we never have bottled water. So I did. And
You're like a road manager at the time.
Well, no, I'm a roadie.
Roadie,
I don't just say a roadie. I do everything. I help pack up equipment and whatever.
What?
And so it was a great experience.
And all this
going
time
through.
you were absorbing the knowledge that was being dropped.
And my network was, my database database was packing up.
Yes.
And I was nice to majority of the people.
Okay.
I rough up a few people.
You rough up a few people?
Yeah, but not a lot.
Yes. And I think somewhere along the line you started to sell records as well.
Yeah. Eventually, actually I was promoting Gregory Isaacs and African Museum stuff over there. Not necessarily do it in like that was a job.
Yes.
While I was there, sometimes I used to hang out at Greensleeve Record Shop. All of us, everybody who come from Jamaica, come there so, and you meet up like how Idler's Rush used to be downtown, and we all just hang out there. And I think Clint Eastwood and General Saint had a success and started to do very well.
Okay.
And I went on the road with them for a while too, actually, yeah. And
where?
In England.
England again?
Yeah, they toured England. They did some of the craziest show, Aberdeen University.
Clint Eastwood and General Saint.
Clint Eastwood is a brother of Trinity.
Yeah, man.
And then Saint was living in England.
Oh.
So when Clint Eastwood got to England, he started living there.
Okay.
And he decided to
stay.
To stay.
And for the African Museum thing, was that the time, were you around the time when Errol Dunkley was with Gregory? Or Errol what?
Errol, at that time, I know about Errol and Gregory at that time, but I wasn't a friend with Gregory then. But I know about Errol because I grew up around seeing Errol Dunkley, and you know, Errol Dunkley used to be in the area every day, and you know, actually, I used to be close to one of his close friends.
Okay.
You know, so I used to see them, but I wasn't close to them. I used to pass by it. Before that shop, before 125 Orange Street, there was another place that Gregory used to be the further down on Orange Street.
Okay.
But I got closer to them at that time when he moved to Orange Street. So Errol Dunkley moved to England.
Right, yeah, man.
And started living
but
there.
Just ask a question for historical value and purposes.
Yes.
So Clint Eastwood and so when you went to England with them, you were like doing what really?
I was just hanging out. I was living at my uncle's house.
Okay.
I just never had much doing there, more than trying to learn and see if I want to stay in England.
Right.
Because I had an opportunity to stay there if I wanted to, because my uncle said, you know what, if you want to stay again. And I was like, you know what, let me go and see what I go on here first before actually.
So the thing permanent.
Yeah, and plus I had something was in Jamaica that I wanted to stay away from a little bit, you know, because the place
so
is rough.
Warm in the streets.
Yeah, the street is rough a little bit. So, I mean, I was the kind of person that, you know, always I think how to do positive things. Come around positive people. So you can't get yourself in a no negative way, you know. So you know, you have to really box yourself safe and go through.
So, General saying Clint Eastwood, I think you also did another stint in England as a representative of sorts for Bunny Wailer.
Bunny Wailer.
Talk to me about that.
Well, after that, I came back to Jamaica, and then Bunny Wailer called me. By then, he realized that I have some purpose, and he called me and said, boy, you know, he wanted me to represent him in England. And Salamanic. And I know I had to get approval from Gregory.
Oh, yeah, because Gregory now your boss, man.
Gregory Isaacs, and then we also asked Lego too.
Okay.
So Lego and Gregory always give me advice, and mostly Gregory. But Dennis too. But Dennis was never... I mean, I hang out a lot, even at that time, with Dennis in England. Up and down with him. And actually, Dennis is the actual one who actually get me my visa to go to the United States.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. That, because when the work permit thing was going on, my passport was in for a work permit. And I think, it was Dennis. So
Dennis added to like...
the petition. To go over. And I didn't end up go with him.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I didn't end up go with him. I traveled by myself, went there on my way to Jamaica.
Okay.
And then, so I mainly toured Gregory. I never actually toured Dennis.
With Dennis, okay.
I've been on the road with Dennis maybe 2 shows.
2 shows.
Just random shows, and never actually toured them.
So we're talking about the Salamanic venture now.
So the Salamanic venture, Bunny Wailer's laid a big responsibility in my hand. Huge responsibility. Like, Bunny Wailer is not the person like a Gregory.
Right.
But you can reason with and talk to him. Very strict, very rigid. He have a certain way he do things, and it wasn't that easy. But he apparently, I was so appreciative of the opportunity that I couldn't say no to him. But I didn't do good
Okay.
when I got the opportunity because he sent me to Chris Blackwell to pick up some money. And when I went to Chris Blackwell, that was the second time I'm gonna meet Chris. I saw him one time downtown Kingston, and then at the time, and I just like this man, Chris Blackwell, his whole vibes and who he represents and what he was all about. And I asked him a couple of good questions, actually.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and he was impressed that a young green man from Jamaica asked him those questions. So, and so when I don't remember how much money it was, and I picked up the money and then called Bunny Wailer and said, okay, what you need me to do, and he gave me some instruction to do this. So I worked on the label for about a year and something, almost close to a year, almost 2 years. I think it was about a year and about 2 months. And then I started doing things that he didn't like. My intention was to actually get Bunny Wailers on a major label or a major distribution.
That time?
Yes. I start to think almost like how the British industry people think, not how we Jamaican think. Because while I was there, I'm looking at the business and I'm like, I know how to do this thing right.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And you were old at this time, though?
Maybe 19. I recognize that from earlier. We know how to do this thing right. And if there's a menu for you to read and see what's on the menu, you're going to try to pick out the menu what makes sense.
True.
So if you follow your heart, you're not going to make sense. You have to follow what actually makes sense to what you're in.
Right.
Then you eventually please your heart. And it's the same thing I do with music.
Yeah. So the Bunny thing never lasts.
Never lasts long because, of course, one of the things that he was really pissed about too is the fact that I tried to make a deal with Rough Trade. Rough Trade was a big distribution company.
Okay.
And he didn't want to be an island. He didn't want to be here. He didn't want. So I'm like, dude, me can't promote you at the level where you need to go.
So who did he want to be buying the records?
He just wanted to, exactly. That's
no,
you see a question, right? And I asked the question myself.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't want the people, like the so-called white people, to market your product or say earn something for exploit you, somebody have to.
Oh, so he was Afrocentric in his approach to getting the records out. So he wanted the records to be sold to a black audience.
Not necessarily. He wanted to sell to everybody, but a certain way.
Oh, okay.
He wants to own his own label. He wants to distribute it by him, and he wants everything to be by Solomonic.
Oh, okay.
Remember now, I'm in a market that's moving 40 miles an hour, and I'm moving 5 miles an hour. And I'm an ambitious young man.
Right.
Trying to get to that 40 miles an hour. So I don't want to sit down here moving at a slow pace when the whole business is go so. And then you realize you're with an artist that have that opportunity to go forward. You're like, what is it? So it took me a while to realize what he really wants. And I respect it. But the fact that I start to spend money doing things that he never liked, and he said to me, make sure you look a certain way, you represent yourself. So I thought it, well, then that's something good that I was doing.
Right.
It was, everyone wasn't supporting me of me doing what I was doing at the time, including, I wouldn't call names, but a lot of people who never really supported, because they thought the match, it's not the match. It's not gonna last. But that deal that I did for him had got him a lot of spins and a lot of plays on radio. There was an album called Rise and Shine.
Okay.
And I got him played a couple times on Radio 1 and started getting him momentum that could have grown really big. And then Rough Trade had the distribution on the record, because if you don't have a good distribution, you're not gonna able to get in the midweek. You're not gonna get charted. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think he understood that. So it never lasted.
Right. So
came back to Jamaica.
Right.
Met with him and told him that by then he had sent someone else. I think it was another guy from his crew. He was a Rastafarian.
Okay.
And I wasn't a Rastafarian because I decided I'm not going to be a Rasta because I don't understand the fact that if you're going to be a Rasta, I have to be a full Rasta because we can't disrespect the culture of the Rastafarian music. So I was still a ballhead.
Yes. And I think somewhere in that you started to develop, well, I don't know if it's a develop, but you were also moving some stuff from Maxi Priest from England to the United States.
Yeah, before I started doing that, what I was doing, I started to buy a record here, bring back to
England.
And
Makes
then
sense.
I doing back and forth. So I bring record from England to New York and then New York to here. Not to here, but to New York, and then from New York I come here. I came back to Jamaica and then do the same thing again. And while I'm there, you know, there are a lot of sound system people coming to see me, asking me to get dub, because John Jalas and Linval Thompson, Jat Thomas, big producer, that close friend, even Jat Thomas and I is good friend till today.
Great and cool, man.
Yeah, and they have a lot of influence on me also, because they were much more in the business than I am. And he's one I remember one year the sound called Saxon just started, and when they just started they wanted dub plate. Nobody would give them dub plate because they knew. So they came to me. And I said, how you mean? You would like it? How you mean, man? I'm going to link John Jaffono and, you know, start link some people, get them some dub plate. And they get them. And then that's how I met Maxi. Through that sound system. And Dolly Levi's and Maxi and those are. So I met Maxi at that time. And while in England now, I decided that I'm going to set up a company, a little company for myself to start import records, a little office, and start sell import and export record.
Blue Track?
Yeah, well, Blue Track, I didn't form Blue Track yet.
Okay, all right. When I said company, I was thinking
yeah,
Blue
well, Blue Track was a company I did after I set up that company.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was an import-export.
Okay.
And I have it for about a year, and then I traveled back to Jamaica. No, I traveled to New York and started to license record from Jatamas and Witty and people who has music that they want to get released over there. So I decided to start doing that and set up a label. So I link up with Lidevan, so Blue Mountain, who had music at the time too. So different people who had music that they want to get released in England. So I actually start doing that and whatever I can produce for myself.
You were now becoming a major player really in the movement of records from Jamaica, the UK, the United States, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And it was quite a journey, because each time you do it and you keep going at it, you realize that the importance of a more creative mind to take it to the next level. Because at that time there was no one actually doing artist management, managing, well, I couldn't say no one.
Like Dan Taylor and a few others.
Yeah. I couldn't say no one, but I didn't see anyone that I could look up to otherwise from him. And I think, I wouldn't say that, because you had Herbie Miller. And then you had, what's his name, Copeland Forbes.
And I guess we could drop Chris in that as well.
Chris Blackwell?
Right.
Well, Chris was a executive, he was everything. And I put him, I had really respect him. I actually constantly monitor everything that he does. Even when I becomes much bigger in the business. I'll get there, but I don't want to take the shortcut. But
yeah, man.
The part of where I see myself becomes a key player is trying to figure out what music can I promote to become very big. Or I could see the English audience react to on a major level, on a major way. Now my mind started opening up. Like totally.
Naturally, yes.
And it was natural. Because if you're in something, and what I realized that I didn't want to do is to be in England and not sponging everything that you see. Why come in here? Why I'm doing here? Yeah, might as well. So, and then I think it was 85. I had, well, before that, when I opened Blue Track and started releasing records and start putting out records, I had a couple of good success, and I realized that, you know what, I need to live in the United States.
Oh.
I need to move to the US. And at that time, Maxi was doing really well. He used to come to my office regularly. We sit down and talk, and I always wanted to see Maxi get to a certain level. And when I went to the United States, now I decided to keep going back and forth to England and decided to push Maxi, to promote Maxi in America, because he had no release then.
Right.
He was only out in England.
Right.
And nobody actually knew him in America. So I started buy his record, import it, and start pushing him in the mom and pop stores. And I remember a lady in, Catherine, I think her name was, that had a store in Manhattan. And I went to her one day and I said, listen, this artist can sell record here in Manhattan. And she said, why you think so? I said, listen, don't believe me. I'm so sure about it that I'll give you credit on these records, and you just keep them on the turntable. And I tell her what time to play it. I tell her, she said, how dare you walk into my store and do this? And I was like, Catherine, listen to me. Give me 2 days. So she said, which 2 days you want? I said, Friday and Saturday.
Good day, them the music.
So she said, one time when I told her, it was funny. This was the funniest thing that ever happened. And the lady ended up like me. And every time I walk into her store, it was like she smiled. She said, who is this guy that's walking from this Jamaican? And she was selling reggae music going on, but it was a little store.
Okay.
And Maxi now started to pick up.
And
then what I do, each time I import a record, I keep telling him, Maxi, and then I call the record label.
Okay.
Phil, those days, Charisma record was the one who was responsible for his record in America, but they never released anything.
Oh.
So Charisma was a part of Virgin. Gregory Isaacs was on Charisma with the Lonely Lover album. So Virgin bought the company, I think.
Okay.
And then they bought the label to the US. So I started to push Maxi products in America.
So Robert Livingston played a pivotal role in Max's emergence in the United States.
Yeah. I draw his attention. And he was a cool dude too. Up till today day.
I hope for reason with him one at a time.
We become close friends. Even when I signed Shaggy.
Right.
You know.
He and Shaggy did some work.
Yeah, man. When Maxi wanted to, he recognized what I did.
Right.
And he kind of wanted to repay me back. So he always know that. And if I come to him for a favor, we were like brethren.
Right.
And we have a lot in common in terms of how we think about music. And he was making the music that I think can really go places. Because we all pushing a culture, but I was pushing a business. And tell you the truth, I wasn't pushing a culture. I was pushing a business.
Right.
For me, the culture will follow me. Because I can't change that.
Right.
But if I don't change the way I do business,
you may not have no success.
I have nothing.
True. Amen, man. We still pick up the research, check with about Maxi some more. And then now, but you were at this point in time though, focusing on, doing the record sales and stuff. Were you starting to entertain management thoughts yet? Because it was, I think, now leading into you meeting Supercat coming up.
Yeah, well, before that, I actually...
Trevor Sparks.
In the same breath, by going back and forth now, I start to take the artists from New York to introduce them
to the
English market. So I had an office there. Set up back
office in US, office in...
Well, I had no office in US. What I had in US, it was my home.
Oh, your home. Okay.
So I operate out of my home plus Superpower record shop where I'm at every day. And when I bring record over there now, I'm bringing the import record. So because at that time in New York, New York artists had no present in England. Because those days it was all the yard man them around the place. So I started to bring New York records to England. And people from England start like, oh yeah, we like these things, and it gets interesting. So I set up back properly in England, yeah. And set up back Blue Track and start to put out more products. And because at that time, that Blue Track never really becomes anything at the first.
Right.
Until that time. And of course, I start getting more products from everybody, Witty, and again, you know, we start to put out a lot of stuff. And so back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think Trevor Sparks now, I put out, I think it was one song that didn't happen very well, and then Wings of Love.
And the Wings of Love.
And that break. Big tune. So he was actually the first artist that I started, well, I wouldn't say the first, because I did Culture before that. Culture, I did a tour with Culture. I totally forget about
Joseph
that.
Hill?
Joseph Hill on Culture. I did a tour with them and took us all to Israel and the whole of Europe.
Oh, yeah?
And
this was before Trevor Sparks?
Yeah, before Trevor Sparks. I managed that tour.
Oh.
And I remember I went on the road with Clint Eastwood and General Saint for a little bit too.
Right.
So those was the experience, and they put responsibility on me at that time.
Yeah,
So-called I wasn't a manager, but talk to Livingston. So it wasn't a
manager.
and I normally I always sometimes they were upset with me.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they thought sometimes I'm too easy with the promoters or the people. But I said to them, listen guys, one of the things we have to remember, you know, all these people that we're working with, we have to remember to build a relationship with them. Because promoter is not an enemy. They might go try to make $1 off on you, yes, so no try to get more. But if these people are not around, how do you get shows?
Words of wisdom.
And so if you Jamaican, if we are Jamaican out here and we're giving these people this attitude, we can't go forward. So
I look upon the thing from a very wide perspective from early.
I remember when we was in Holland with Gregory Isaacs, there was a white lady named Genevieve. I think her Genevieve, that's her name. I don't remember her name, but she was really a little bit different. I wouldn't call her weird, but everyone, and especially Lego, never really trust her.
Okay.
So I'm always be the middle person who's trying to calm her. Even when Lego was the manager at the time, and him rough her up on me, I try to calm her because no, she loved Gregory. Regardless of what she's doing, she loved Gregory. So I'm trying to say, I want this woman to promote Gregory in Holland. So I'm trying to get this woman. I start talking to her, and I give her one Gregory Isaacs record that didn't release, and ask her to make sure. So I built a relationship.
The pot, man.
Yeah, man. And she ended up do a lot for Gregory.
I guess then so you attract more ants or fly with honey.
Yeah.
That's something I do.
And so being in that position, coming back, rewind back, forward, those things is what now drive me into promoting Trevor Sparks. And promoting Trevor Sparks, and you know, he was basically influenced by his uncle who had a superpower record shop, Shelley. That was his uncle. So Shelley now asked him to do some song for Jammies.
Okay.
Bye Bye Love and those songs. Yeah, and so those songs really did well for him. Very, very well. And Trevor and I still stay friends, and I eventually now start working with Frankie Paul. So Frankie Paul.
Oh, so Frankie, you started working with Frankie before Supercat.
Yeah, very much.
So you're filling some gaps now.
Yeah.
I never know
how I get to work with Frankie Paul. I was in England. I think it was a Friday night. I went to a Sir Coxsone party, and Sir Coxsone dance was very, very. Them days it wicked, pack and holy patting a go on with it, and my dad and when name the Blacker come to me, I said, boy, my youth, I want you to do something for me, you know. Frankie Paul, there a couple of months, you know, and him need for, you know, emerge out of the place and things. So I say, yeah man, I meet with him. And him bring him come. So I decided to start work with him and help him. And that's the first time he actually got on Sunfest. Or Sunsplash at the time, I think it was. And then I got him a deal on Profile Record.
Okay.
Yeah, he did an album, Get Closer for Profile Record. But right after Frankie signed the deal, he came back to Jamaica and did an album for Jammies.
Jammies, right.
And I was like... But you couldn't blame him.
Right.
Because he's doing what he knows best.
Sing.
So, and it was so funny.
Right.
And the album bad.
Frankie.
Frankie the man, all the album bad. But the thing about it is that the truth of the music industry, that's what it is.
It is.
So we got to, what I'm trying to do with this guy, he can't handle that. He can't work in that space that I'm trying to put him. So I was trying to tell a cow to don't eat grass and eat weed, or what you call it, the feed, you know, the bag feed. And you know, no disrespect, but
no man, I understand.
you understand. So for me now, Profile Records said, well, you know, you came in with a bag of argument and talk, and we think this guy was ready.
Oh.
Profile Record wasn't, and actually Murray Elias was the one who signed him.
Okay.
That same Murray Elias that had those controversy thing the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And Murray and I was friends at that time too. And I used to learn a lot from Murray. Murray was very connected, understand the business, love reggae music, always looking to see where he can live something. And people like that you recognize and try to actually
establish a relationship.
Yeah. So for him though, Murray never get the chance to actually, till today, they work with someone, otherwise some cutty ranks,
Okay.
that he could have
Really
launched
brought.
off of being. I think for me, I didn't think I get the opportunity. I think I created it. And so he maybe would have to do the same thing, but because he's not Jamaican or from the culture, the trust, the understanding, so it was very different.
Difficult, yes.
Yeah, so
yes. What I know is that Frankie did some songs with you or for you. I never knew that you were so instrumental early out in Frankie's journey.
Yeah. I got him
history that for me.
I got him a visa, I got him a work permit, I let him understand, I get his songs registered. Let him put on the roof on his mother's house, make him earn some good money from touring. I helped him a lot. I did a lot for him.
Great man.
Yeah, I did a lot for him. A hell of a lot for both him and Trevor Sparks.
Man, Trevor.
And we had great relationship.
Trevor is out in England now?
No, he died.
Trevor died?
Yeah, he died of sugar in Chicago.
When?
Couple years ago.
Because I was looking up Trevor today. I never seen
he died. It was sad too. Yeah, man. He died.
Yeah.
Never really made any money.
Oh.
Those days, music business itself was very, we don't prepare statement properly. We only look at the numbers. How I used to pay people, I used to just say, okay, I sell 1,200 records. I'm gonna pay royalties for 1,000, and I multiply the 12%. I pay MCPS. I may be one of the only person at that time was paying mechanical, and stuff. And try to do it right. I tried my best. I wasn't 100.
I appreciate the honesty with that.
Yeah, I wasn't 100. I try to figure out if I license a record for somebody, I go see them and say, boy, I'm license a record for $1,500, and I'll give $500 and I'll give $1,000. But I tell them I'm licensing it for, how much may I take? If them vex, then want big, but me tell them.
You tell them. Yes. And it was, and so let me get it now. So after Trevor Sparks and Frankie Paul, was there any other managerial role of sorts leading up to Supercat, or it was after those people?
I think it was, not that I could remember. I did some other work with other individuals. Like I actually did some work with a rock band. I went on the road with them for about a week. I went back to England.
Okay.
And I went on the road with them. I think it was Supertramp they called.
Oh, Supertramp. Okay.
And I did some work with them. I think it was at that time, if I could remember. And I don't really write down things like what my history.
Right.
For me, even doing my book, I have to constantly trying to remember things and making notes and try. Because sometimes you don't wanna say the wrong things.
Yes. Well, I guess this will be a good fall back for when
Yeah.
you write out some things? When you
Well,
say
I
it,
started a while back.
a while back.
Yeah, I
Okay.
started taping everything and.
Oh, so
Yeah.
okay. That
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
yeah, I even doing this interview, they had warned me not to
Say certain things.
things. That's why I tell you nothing personal because
Right.
there's a lot to say in
I
my book.
understand, but I
Yeah,
understand. I
so
understand.
it's a business, but at the same time, this is something important program that a lot of people watch to get the
Appreciate
culture,
that.
and
Appreciate
we have to feed what makes sense. And me being a part of this program is a part of our movements.
Give thanks, man. Really
Yes,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
so-
For a man who have done so much in the space, that
Yeah.
means a lot.
Yeah.
So now, you eventually started managing
Supercat.
William Mirage.
Yes.
It's a super cat.
Supercat and I met through Jat Thomas. At the time, I used to license product from Jat Thomas to release in England. And
Okay.
Jat Thomas wasn't even licensed. He used to just say, boy, Livingston, now you go studio every night and really, here, put out them two tunes.
Okay.
So it's not like me to give my money and say me I go license it. So me start set up paperwork and start giving them statement
Okay.
like a business. So I'm learning it the business way and trying to show him, said, this is how we do this thing.
Right.
And now, one night, I tell you how the story actually, Supercat and I get close and Jatamas. I came to Jamaica and Jatamas called me, I went to studio, RJ studio.
RJ.
And Supercat was with us and we went there to voice the song. And our way back to, I don't remember where we were going, but we're coming back. I think I was going home and then it was going down Cockburn Pen or whatever, I don't remember. And police stopped us, all three of us. And police said, who have weed? Supercat said, boy, me have a bag of weed in us. Policeman said, all right, you have one. You about you? Thomas said, no, I'm not good enough, so I don't have no weed. And he said, about you? Brown man, what you have? I said, I don't have none, sir. I just have some tape and some music, He said, you have the money, though? So I say, oh, you paying for me for money, sir? I call I look like money. And he said, you look like you're the businessman coming in at the place and things. So anyway, when they're ready for the bag of weed now from Supercat, can't find the weed. And the man them decide, say them are going to get real fun. The man them get away. And I don't remember, I think it was another set of police came by or another big businessman stopped by and kind of calm it down and them let to go.
Okay.
And from that night now, myself, Supercat, kind of start getting close. And then now, I didn't see him after a while because I think I put out a record for Jat Thomas with him.
Okay.
And it was one week he started to travel frequently to New York, Supercat. And I went to VP one day to do some business and he was in the parking lot. And him said me, I said, yo, Rob Levy, wagwan, come here, man. And boy, want to start put out some record and Ray and start talk about the business. And him said, boy, I would like me to do some work, And I said to him, well, in here are two things, me I have to go sit down and talk. Because you can do this a certain way and you can get success out of it if we do it a certain way. And him decided, let us do it. So we started a movement together and, business, and it became very successful.
Very successful.
Yes, very
Before
successful.
we talk about the success though, it is well documented that Supercat may not be one of the easiest person to treat with. What was it like managing the Apache?
The Apache, once he respects you
Yeah.
and understand what you're doing, it's easy. He goes off a little bit, but just like anybody. Because and both of us are two rough person. And you can't be a soft person and manage him. I work with him. He more respect you. You have to be a tough man, can test you. With me and him now is like two different kind of person coming from the street, and him respect that. So, and then the thing about, I had a balance between the rough in the street and the business side. So that, and then we're constantly protecting him, trying to put him in the right direction, and constantly focusing on what makes sense in the bit. So with him, the part where he becomes very, I would say, violent sometimes is when he can get his full way. And then now I know how to kind of really deal with him. Because I always say, I'm not back off. I'm in a fright and go fall up in one corner. No. Me and him go at it. And then we calm down. And him look at it to himself and say, all right, yeah, me see what you say. Or me calm down and say, okay, me see what you say. Okay, here what? This is what we are going to do. One thing I try to do with him and I, we always sit down and talk over everything. Even don't care how crazy it get.
And talk about it.
Yeah, we talk about it. That was something that we had. And we love each other. Like, totally. I think that deep down, Supercat had more love for me than Shaggy had for Robert Livingston.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. In many ways more than one.
Okay.
Shaggy maybe had liked me in the beginning, but I wouldn't use the word love because we are Jamaican. We don't love man, but
yeah, we understand.
We understand.
Brotherly love, man.
Brotherly love. He done many things and say things and do things. You know, when him one night he asked me how my mother passed and how my brother them and certain things he asked me, Supercat.
Right.
And he would go out and he would buy 2 shoes. He would buy a Clarks for me. And he would say, yo, Liv, I buy 2 Clarks and I see them here, boy, I see one of them here. So me and him would wear the same shoes.
Oh, okay.
Or we, you know, if anything go on, me not run left him or him not run left me. Period. We don't care how bad you is. We not run left one another. You understand what I say? So,
definitely.
Deep down, he did one of the worst things to me in music. And following after that, I realized that maybe it's not intentional. He was just trying to own up to what he believes in.
Right.
If I could say it like that. But managing him, boy, may I tell you the truth, the journey was bumpy and rough, but trust me, I got through with it. Got through to him.
Yes.
For him to do the right thing, and it makes him very successful.
Yes.
And we never spoke for 21 years, you know.
21 years. I was going to pick up that somewhere down the line still, but yeah.
Yeah, you can pick it up down here if you want. Yeah.
You know, got him signed to Colombia.
Colombia,
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was a challenge in any way. I think Maxine's store was...
Had a lot to do with it too. Well, how it worked, what happened that Supercat, we put out a record on VP. Big and Ready.
Oh, okay.
And the record, I promoted that record really crazy. At the time, I was pushing also, before that I pushed Sweet From a Sweet. And it was my record, it was Kingdom record.
Oh, okay.
But I pushed it, I promoted a lot in England, and Supercat set it up for him to be on his label.
Apache.
Wild Apache. Because I set up Wild Apache.
Oh, you did?
I was the one who set it up. It wasn't Cat, I did. I came up with the name and he called himself Wild Apache. And I said, I could set up a label like Wild Apache. So basically, it was 2 of us as Wild Apache.
Okay.
You know, people used to call me Indian too. People used to thought I was an Indian. And I used to say, no, I'm not Indian. And I told me just light skin. My mother black and my father light skin. So I don't really know what to call myself. I call myself a Malata, what they call. But I was placed in everything. Sometimes I go into the Arab country, they think me is an Arab. I go Ethiopia, they think I'm an Ethiopian. So I just fit in. But anyway, at that time, Supercat now and I become like people think we're family. And we are tread the earth and I do this thing. But the part that really was very important to us is the fact that Big and Ready was a record that's showing signs to go somewhere where I would want it to be. And Columbia was doing a compilation album. And they reached out for the record to be licensed.
Okay.
And I said, hell yeah. For nothing if you want it.
For nothing if you want it.
Hell yeah.
Just to get him on the label.
Because I keep...
No, I understand what you're doing. I'm just saying the thought process behind it.
Yeah. And Kat say, oh, I'm have to pay them. I say, Kat, it's not everything is money, bro. Please. You can become a big artist from this opportunity. And they say him calm down. And he was the kind of guy that was really observing what I was doing. The word trust, me never even put that into play. Come in a business if you want to trust me, yes or no. Come in and look for trust.
Right.
Trust is something when hardly anybody ever give. Even when them say them trust, them not mean it. Like most Jamaicans. I don't even think most Jamaicans say when them love a woman, they really love them. And it is the truth. It's my experience. So for me, I at that time, I wasn't looking for his trust. I was just looking to say, okay, you're a great artist. I'm gonna put you up there. If you reach up there and you feel like the work was done, thank me. If you didn't like it, tell me to F off.
Right.
And he told me to F off, so I thought he didn't like it. So after I did all that work, when he got on Columbia, we went back to where they picked up the record.
Right.
And Maxine Stowe was there they hired her to be, I think it was...
A&R?
I wouldn't know if it was an A&R or it was a representative to try to merge into...
Bridge the gap.
No, well, to do this album.
Oh, okay,
it was for her to manage this album.
Oh.
This compilation album. She actually, I think, I think so. She put that album together. So she was responsible for that particular project. And she always liked Supercat, though. She was always a fan of Supercat. And then we had a few more people there. Like there was a Karen Mason who was in the company and liked Supercat also. Okay. So what happened now, we actually was pushing hard to get Supercat signed to Columbia. Through the success of that record, and then Specialist was there with
Dylan
Shabba.
was there.
Well, remember, now Sony by Columbia, Epic, and all of those labels. So we was in the same building.
Okay.
Specialist was on the 6th floor, we was on the 5th floor. So Specialist and I was close because we used to sell record together too. Specialist, Dylan and Robert Livingston, relationship from those days till now. Specialist is like my brother. Okay. Right now. Like we talk every other day. Okay. From many years till now. If I need an advice or want to ask a question about something or he want to ask me a question. Vice versa. And we never jealous of each other. When I was doing well, he's good. When he's doing well, I'm good. Awesome. Most people never realize. That's the only person that we live so well that never even seen like jealousy amongst one another. Nice. And him give me 100% support. When I had no artist, when Supercat leave, he call me and say, yo, my youth, here, come work with somebody with me up. Oh, yeah? Yeah, man. Just come. Anybody you want to work with, just come. Nobody stay out there and... Right. No, your knowledge what you have, you need for you do something. You don't need to sit down. Did you go? Yeah, I never went on the road. Eventually, okay. What I did, I had got a call for a record label executive position. Oh. And I never took it. But at the time, that's why I didn't go. It was Richard Stevenson. I was supposed to go on the road with Richard Stevenson. Specialist called me and gave me that position. And said, boy, you can't... A good brother that, man. Yeah, man. Good brother that. I'll know. Yeah. I'll know. Like, total. People don't even know how close me and Specialist is. Like, when me tell you so close. I believe... Yeah, man. For a long time. Yeah. So, eventually, Cat was signed to Columbia. Yes. And that now you co-produce with him while Apache Dandada album. Big album. Big album. Big album. Big album. Be a big sap. And collaboration. And collaboration. And it's just, I tell you the truth, it's like sometimes I look back and I'm like, I wonder if people realize that some of the success that I do have, I never got paid for them. And that part is one of the parts that we need to really look back and say, you know, that success comes so powerful at the time. So for a man like me to set up myself back into investing more time and money into another project or another artist. And then it was a shy... answer the question. Yeah, I shied away. Or you, after all of that, after the situation with Cat and you not, you know, getting anything really, you went back into management. But we come around to that. So the album now, Dandada, I think it peaked at number 37 on the Billboard, somewhere around there. Yeah. Them No Worry there was a collab there with Every D was on it. Yeah. That was your doing? Yes, my doing. Figure as much. Yeah? Them No Care, Fight for Power. Yeah. Fly featuring Sugar Ray. Yeah. Actually, how that happened when him and I split. Oh, it was after? Yeah, it was after. Okay. Because David can call me. So it's not on the album? Not on the album. Oh. It was a one-off.
One off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually got involved, even though I wasn't managing him. David can call me with him on the phone.
With Cat on the phone.
And said, boy, and I said to Cat, listen, this is an opportunity. You need to realize what this is about. After all of that.
Bad blood.
This, let me tell you, say, me and him actually never had a beeful conversation, you know.
Right.
Most of the thing that happened with Cat and I think it was mostly influence.
Okay.
Him and I never had a confrontation.
Because your son used to talk about things, so...
Yes, we never had a confrontation. But he was always the kind of person who wants to write his music, own his things, and do everything, because then he had a bad experience with Winston Riley. Techniques and the Boops album.
Oh. Okay.
So and a lot of artists has these bad experiences.
So he felt that he didn't want to relive that.
Relive that down. Relive that. But why use me? You understand what I'm saying? So I kind of fall right into that. And of course, I think he developed a part where people were just into his ear, say, yo, don't trust the man there, because Ray, and he might go do the same thing, because he's a man where, you know, we might do. And people start to talk. And it's happened because most people start talk now even more because them see the success.
Well,
and Maxine too.
So people talk still after that.
Maxine was a big influence in that part.
Maxine was involved in that too?
Yeah, she was involved in that. I found out way after that she was a big part of that. Because she wanted to take my place.
Okay.
Badly. And I left it up. I said, hey, anybody who want it, go ahead, take it. I told Kat to take everything. I think I don't want anything. Keep it. If you look at it now, I got no publishing, I got no royalties, nothing of that success.
For one of the more successful dancehall albums.
Yes, sir. Not even 1 cent.
And you walked away
I walked away with nothing.
No intention to get legal.
No legal, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you know what? It's okay. Because one of the part that we walked in this Jamaica culture, we have to remember, everyone that you meet upon, you know, can walk with you until it becomes success, you know. It's the money.
We have had that conversation so many times.
Yeah,
money. When no money now make, everybody
you're good,
when
man.
Money start make.
What? The pie is not for sharing anymore.
And can't understand. At that time, everybody should end good.
Yeah.
Everybody can eat now. So me not understand it.
And still. Right now, me and him close.
You know, I him good again, man. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, man, me and him good, man. But I tell you the truth. If when I signed Shaggy, and the success started, Cat came by the studio twice in Long Island, and I didn't know. He told me that after, and he told me, "So pride why I'm in the call all year, you know, come and miss you, you know." He tell me that. I said, boy, never find nobody else like me, you know, cause all of this was going, how we started, how we set it, which is true.
True.
And I learned a lot being around him. Get to play with a few big players that I really needed to be. I'm at every music conference, music seminar. Me and him, there, Gavin. We work with Fugees. We work with Cypress Hill. It was a journey. And
was the time you went on the road with the police as well? That was after.
After.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that my experience, getting this experience through him, was a gift. It was a blessing. So if I didn't walk away with monetary gain, I gained something. And retract back when I said I walk away with nothing, I have to rephrase that because I walked away with something.
You walked away with something.
I walked away with knowledge.
Knowledge.
And connection.
Network.
And networking. And people actually did like me while I was doing it. Thought I was fit for the job. And David can always think that I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Always say that.
The record would suggest that you are that.
Yeah, true.
So, you know where you go.
David can always say, yo, something about you. And Jay Bober, to the guy that signed us to MCA record.
Okay, yeah, because that's Shaggy who got the sign to MCA. So, Dolly My Baby Now was another song that did extremely well.
Yeah.
So it was on the album, and I think then there was a remix with Mary J. Blige and
Biggie.
so now what? So hold on. So let me get this clear, because when I read it, it said what a 2 time it was remixed. So the first one was with Mary J. Blige,
And the second
and
one
then the
was-
second one was Third Eye and Biggie.
Biggie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah. I wasn't there at that time.
Oh, you were there at that.
But I make that record. That record was a record that Supercat never liked.
Dolly My Baby.
Yeah. How that record came about is I always liked Sweet from a Sweet.
Yes.
I thought Sweet from a Sweet fans need back a record like that.
Oh, okay.
So I try to make replicate that
recreate
record.
that,
Yes,
yes.
that recreate that record, and I said, Kiat, we need to make back a record like that.
Yes.
So the rhythm actually was laid at the studio. I don't remember if I laid it or Supercat laid the rhythm with a musician that we normally use.
Okay.
And then I went to the studio one night with Trevor Sparks, and I said, Trevor, I have an idea, and I want you work with me on this. I want to put Cat on it, but I don't want him to know yet. I want to do it first, because I think this is going to work. And Trevor Sparks and I start writing that part, and your love got a hold, and bam, the vibe starts.
Right.
And now Trevor Sparks lay his track down. So I introduced the song, the rhythm to Cat. Now I said, Cat, we're going to studio tonight, go up on a song. Because the idea, the planetary, the more you hear, and I think you're going to like it. So when we got to the studio now, we play him the idea,
Yeah.
And we play him the idea, and he said, well, I don't know if I like this, I don't even know if where this I go, it all make sense, So I said, Cat, here we go. For me, I never lead you wrong. And him say, I show, come on, I could try it, run it. And the man just go in there and start lace it. Yeah, man. Lace it, and then now I edit it, because at the time he was just doing things, and
Right.
edit it, and history, the record runway.
Far.
And then now the record label starts say, okay, we're gonna use this record down the road to release, not right now, because we're promoting at that time.
Right.
So that was the last release, I think. Or either that one or the one with Them No Worry We was the last one.
Okay.
Because even Them No Worry We was a session that I booked to do a song with him and Heavy D, because we need to repeat what we did already.
Right.
And we booked the session in Manhattan and went to the studio with no concept of what we're gonna do. I just wanted them both in the studio.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. To create a magic. All I know, if I'm there, something gonna happen. Yeah, because I will say, oh yeah, we not got that part. That part is not good. I could do this, I could do that, and try test them and push them. We were, Cat and I was a good team.
Get the Red Hat and all of these.
Yeah,
things.
man. I rode the bike and get a Red Hat.
Watch the video, man.
You
Who are you, man? Who are you?
Yeah.
And also the song with Criss Cross, Jump.
Yeah.
There was a little trouble in getting him to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. He didn't like the idea when the idea came around. Mike, actually, who was managing, I think Mike was Jermaine Dupree's father.
Yeah.
And he was managing Criss Cross. And then Jermaine was a producer. So Mike, one night, I think back in the time, Chad Elliott and Jermaine Dupree and all of them was in a little group.
Okay.
And one night they get punched out on Long Island, and Mike called me. Somebody make Mike call me, and I help him out, and I remind him about it.
Okay.
When I got to Columbia.
Yeah.
And while we was at Columbia, they was on Rough House. And Rough House had a Cypress Hill, Tim Dog, Fugees. Rough House label was hot. So they were a part of Columbia.
Right.
So when Criss Cross record run went on, decided to do well, the idea came up for a remix. And I called Mike. And I said, Mike, boy, super get ready to do well on this, And Mike said, yeah, man, I think about it. And he thought about it and called us the night and said, boy, I could try something. And Kat and I flew out straight to Atlanta. I think we couldn't get a studio at the time. And I called Bobby Brown, because Bobby and I was cool.
The Bobby Brown.
The Bobby Brown. We were good. We were cool. Because I hang out with Bobby in LA, me, Heavy D, and Bobby hanging out in LA. And Bobby, I didn't get Bobby, I got his brother.
Oh, okay.
And I said, Bobby had his studio. I think it was Philly at the time. He did a Philly or Atlanta. I think it was Philly. or Atlanta. I don't remember. Anyway, get the studio time. Bobby had the studio time working for himself, so he showed everybody. That night we get straight in the studio. Jermaine Dupri came over. He worked in that studio before many times, and we just sit there all night and just spit out lyrics. And we just tell Jermaine Dupri, say, make him just go and talk. Don't worry. We will fill it up and edit it up. And cat just spit out a whole heap of things.
It's a very good
yeah,
approach,
man. And he just dump a whole heap of things. Right now, Jermaine Dupri maybe have at least a whole single pan tape on the cat the night. And the man, in our vibes, you know, come here tell him, say, pay attention to the world that we're in.
Right.
We're not out here just by ourselves. Be a part of some things, you know. It will help you. You're going to see yourself on TV. It's going to break the record, already a big record. All you got to do is just become a part of it. Yeah. And it worked. Worked like a gem. And even before that, while we were doing, like when we go to the music conference in San Francisco, I think it's called the Gavin at the time, and Supercat we perform at one of the show for the seminar, like just like what's happening here in Jamaica now. The show actually was Cypress Hill, Criss Cross, Tim Dog, Fugees, everybody big.
Everybody big picture.
Some say, yeah, well, no, can't have it on the show yet. Some go in and say to Jeremy in the pre-listen, I get cat on the show. Yeah. Karen Mason, Mr. Karen. You sure cat would want to do this? We already at the Gavin. Right. And she said, I say, yeah, man, he will do it, man. Before me even ask cat, you know. I say, yeah, man, he will do it, man. How are you talking about? She said, you sure? I say, yes, he will do it. Get me the spot. So she said, talk to Jeremy in the pre and I said, me from spin for cat. Because them time he might spin for Criss Cross.
Okay.
And me and Grammy in the pre talk and say, yo, here what you want to do for me. I want you to set him up properly. And we don't want to go out there, we want to go out there before Cypress Hill and all them people. Right. And me and Cat talk and I say, Cat, we're there and the place full of smoke in the bridge. And everybody in that smoke, the whole place I go up in smoke. Yo, Criss Cross not even belong in there, sir. But they were there.
Right.
And, people, all kind of different people inside this place. So Jeremy and the Pre decided he was going to start spin some music and start spin something and start create a little energy, and then him have an energy now and him just say, yo, we have straight here from Jamaica who love dancehall and reggae music, blah, 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 bam, and Cat just walk out with a big spliff and bust the place and just puff it and start the music. Let me tell you something. The man blow the roof off. And then Criss Cross come after him. He brought out Criss Cross. Cat just say, yo, I'm a look at youth them this, you know. So we have to take care of the youths them and the crowd say, way, and them just come in. Criss Cross make a jump, and the place just...
Don't listen, people, place just jump in.
He didn't go on the record yet. That time he didn't even go on the remix yet. We were just doing promotion. And we were on, even at the time when we were doing promotion, we didn't even know Busta Rhymes was Jamaican.
Right. Oh yeah?
At that time we didn't know. We know Pete Rock and CL Smooth and what Special Ed and Heavy D, and we know a few people who were Jamaican, but we didn't even know Busta Rhymes was Jamaican at that time because he was in this group called Eliza's of the New School. And we were on the road together. We did many things together. And each time he decided to pass us or say hi to us, he never give us any direction that he was a
yard man vibe.
Never get a yard man vibe from him. So I know that he maybe eventually him say, well, you know what, let me make a connection.
Yeah.
I think is one night Cat, I think if I could remember, Cat said to him, say, yo, yard man, and him say, yeah man, and him start at Jamaica. and I think that's how we know Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
But Busta was always that kind of artist where I always want to see him. He just had that vibes there where, Busta was one of them artists, every time you see him, it's like the man energy is so
Yeah.
You know, him different. Very, very different. So the whole time with being at that promotion marketing thing with the Rough House and the Columbia and Supercat, it was a very good experience. We've been on the road for like almost 2 months back and forth. We traveled around. Karen Mason was a very important part in that role of help breaking Supercat. Because every time she get us on everything, and I'm just there to convince him to let us go, let's go.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Before we talk about the split between you and Cat, I know you did an album, Father and Son, with Apache and Scratchy as well.
Yeah.
For the Wild Apache
Wild
label.
Apache label. We did a lot of songs for the label.
Right.
I was in the studio here a lot at Music Works at the time, working on songs. You know, the Apache Scratchy came in as an Indian because what happened now, we attract all these Indian artists who thinks that I'm an artist. All about Indian I come from. and so, I said to Cat, Cat, that you have bad in him about thing, and Cat saying, I could hear him. Because he not care, you know. He not care about whether you're Indian or he not care about that. He not so say, you have a bad. Cat not care. Cat to say, yo, that man is bad, you know. He not care. Cat is a man who not see color like that.
Right. I just talent.
Yeah, talent him a deal with. And he would never be. I had never hear him cuss white people or talk anything racist or anything like that when we on the road. Never. Not even one time. I always think he like talent. Can big up every artist.
Yes.
And if I like a vibe up on the road, him I one of the man. I said, "We're doing it." And if easy man. So. But Apache Scratchy had us great vibes, and we decided to do some songs. Because Cat was always saying, "Go vibes up some of the youth, them want boss and
Makes
thing."
sense.
And we were trying to do it. We had a big hope for where we might end up, what we would like to do. It never happened.
It
but
just never materialized.
it never materialized.
So the split came, and you walked away, and you left everything.
Everything.
At that time, were you in your head like, I'm done with artist management, I'm not go back this again?
Yeah.
I was spending my money to do something else.
Yeah, at my time. I was interested in working with white groups.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
because when I talk to the managers them for the white groups them and the white people business, they pay and they respect the business and they respect their managers. They respect how the business actually operate. And I think their social life was different. Of course, so we can compare how we grow compared to them because they will grow in a world if they don't have nothing, the system will provide them with something. We never had that. You know, we have to scrape every little thing where we are. So our mentality was quite different. So I was driven to work with one of those bands to see if I could go into the business and work with one of those people. Whatever, roadie or anything. So my mind was there, and also I get an opportunity to work with a major label. And this was Columbia.
Okay.
And I didn't take the job. I didn't think I was qualified.
Oh, yeah?
Nah. I wasn't qualified because I'm going to go into a corporate world wearing my experience and what I do is more better being on the outside than inside. And I didn't want to get eaten up and spit out. And when I come back out in the world, I wouldn't know what to do. I was like, oh, wow. So might as well like stay out here and keep the chance, keep taking that chance, or work with a business that can keep me out here. So I was focusing on that. And then back and forth from LA, talking to Heavy, trying to place myself, see if I could maybe work with Heavy or Puffy or people like that who I'm connected with.
Right.
Then I realized that maybe it's not the best thing to do. So I said, you know what, let me go on easy a little bit. But at that time I was still making some money.
Okay.
Because I was doing a little bit of trading. I used to do import products from the UK to America. You know, I get into some fabric business. I did a little bit of this business.
Also same way.
Yeah, man. I was never scared of work. Never scared of work. So I decided to chill. And I mean, how even the whole incident with Shaggy came around, The first encounter with getting a message from Shaggy, I was in California, in Pizza Hut, and me and Denzel Washington was in the Pizza Hut together, talking. And
Yeah.
I buck him up in there, and he always nice. Every time I see him, he always nice. And he didn't remember who I was, and I remind him, and you know, we're sitting down there. He was waiting, his security was there, and he was there waiting on somebody. And we start talking. And the girl who was serving the pizza came up to me and said, I got a message for you. And I'm like, yeah, I hope he's one of your friends. I just made a joke. And she said, you're funny. He's not my friend.
Yeah.
He's an artist that I think you would like to work with. And I'm like, I said, artist? It's the worst thing I ever heard in my life. Baby, let me have fun with my pizza. I don't want to talk about artists. And she said, when you finish, I'll talk to you. And then Denzel and I talk, and then he leave, and I eat my pizza. And then the girl said, it was from an artist from New York. So who's this artist? But prior to that, I had met Shaggy at a studio in Brooklyn.
Okay.
When we were doing the song named Nuff Dan Dead Ya with Supercat.
Yes.
I met him at the studio that night. And I think he came there to do something with Sidney Mills. I don't remember what he came there for, but that's the first time I met him.
Right.
And then, but Supercat had met him prior to that. Supercat know of him and know that he's a DJ and everything, but he never had any song that I could have said, yeah. I think he had one song called Mampi.
Mampi.
I don't remember if it was Mampi, I think. Yeah, but I never really know the song.
So it was before his old Carolina days then?
Yeah, long before that.
Okay.
And then he did a song called Big Up with Rayvon. And now I get to know him through Big Up. But at the time when I get to meet him at that studio, I never really know much about it. And then, but I only meet him that night. There was no conversation like me working. Remember I working with Cat. So after Cat and I split, I was in California and I get that message. So, and then I came back to New York about a week later, and I was on my way to Long Island over the studio where I normally work.
Okay.
And I stopped at the gas station, I think, to buy a cigarette or something. And when I got inside the gas station, the guy at the gas station said to me, yo, you look for you know. And I said, we shoot that.
Yeah.
Shaggy. I was like, damn, this guy's really looking for me. But I didn't think he was the one who actually talked to the guy at the gas station.
Okay.
It was somebody else relayed a message that in trying to link me. And then my accountants now, who had helped build a bridge between me and Cat, a wedge between me and Cat,
Okay.
called me up and said, boy, me have an artist here for you, man. Where me think you would do well with him. So I said, you a fall person thinks that me can do well? And him said, why you say that? I said, then you're not a big influence in the whole Supercat thing. And I said to him, I said, you should be glad that I changed. Because if I didn't change, I would have come and visit you and give you a nice present. I still have it. So in case you decide to be bad, I can give it to you.
Yeah.
And exactly what I said to him. And remember, he was the accountant.
Right.
That I brought Cat to do his returns and struck. And the man just, I think all of them thought that, rewind a little bit, that Cat was going to be the next big thing that they have to hang on to, and Al was in the way. So anyway, and I said, what you want? And he talked to me about Shaggy and I said, no, I'm not interested. I get a couple of messages already and I'm not interested.
Shaggy did up on the hunt.
Yeah, like me, I tell you, the man hunt me. Serious hunt, but I must give him credit. He overheard someone, well, not someone, Mikey Jarrett, at the studio. Well, Shaggy told me this story, that he overheard Mikey Jarrett saying that manager that ain't a Supercat leave, anybody get him,
Get a good manager.
I go get a manager we know the game. So Shaggy overheard that and him say, oh, that money I'm ever find. So Shaggy hunt me and I turned it down like 3-4 times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The accountants called me the first time, I turned it down. Second time, turned it down. Then I think Sting, producer Sting.
The producers,
Sting called me and said, yo, Billy, my youth I look for but at that time I didn't think Sting was interested too much in Shaggy. because he had another person that he was working with.
Okay.
But he had them both on the same rhythm. But I'm trying to remember if a Sting called me, but somebody called me prior to the accountants again, and accountants called me back, and I said, you know what, I'll take the meeting.
Okay.
And I went to the meeting. Shaggy came with Sting, as Sting was his producer at the time, who they had working on O Carolina. The song wasn't finished totally.
Oh, so you were in the picture before O Carolina was released?
Boss, me did the stuff from before everything. What are you talking about?
What? Oh, I understand it is that it was after O Carolina
No,
you
sir.
came in the picture.
No, sir. I mean, pay for O Carolina video. Two
Robert
video me
Livingston.
pay. Robert Livingston money. Pay for O Carolina video.
I learned anything of father.
So, but me know, it's because another thing, me never really go out there and talk too much. If you understand.
I
So,
understand, man.
and about something that I actually, it's sad the way how we have to be spilling
Right.
our business that road. Cause I not really talk my business, and but when I went to the meeting now, Sting came with him, and Sting. I know Sting. When I was importing records, Sting used to buy all the records from me.
Okay.
As I reached out in New York, Sting was one of the DJ who used to play underground and spinning record. He just started producing at that time too. So Carolina, it was his first project rhythm. And he had Bedrock Sensation with Badger Dread, so that's the artist Sting was real interested in.
Okay.
Because Badger had a vibes, and he sound hardcore, deep voice, and him tall, and him have a swag, and Shaggy was more on the, look like he's a song, a one-off record, kind of record, don't look like he had a character to maintain. So going back is at that time, you think back and you say to yourself, well, I couldn't understand why Sting was more into promoting Badger because it fits right into New York and what New York is all about. Anyway, they played me the record for Carolina, and I said, shit, this record is big. So Sting was saying, well, I think Bedrock Sensation is going to be a bigger record. And I'm like, yeah, for New York. I think this record is hot. But within that time, while they were working on that, Max Romeo was shooting a movie in Jamaica. I don't know if you know that movie. Not Kevin Costner. I don't remember who the movie was. It was Max Romeo acting the movie.
Okay.
Yes, and at the time Maxie was doing
Smile.
Maxie was doing be a part in the movie, and I asked him if they doing a soundtrack, and I said yes, and I said, you know what, I have my artist, I mean, just signing them. I go really shy, push for getting in there, and I make the record myself, and give the record to the movie for the soundtrack. I can't remember the name of the movie.
If it's a soundtrack, I think the movie may be titled Smile.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
What's the soundtrack? Nice and Lovely or That Girl?
No, it was none of those songs.
None of those?
It was after that. Those songs, Nice and Lovely and That Girl, was way after. That was early up, before Carolina even bust big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early up. I'm trying to remember the guy name that did the movie. It was shot here in Jamaica too. It wasn't a blockbuster. It never did big. Never did well.
I could be wrong, but for some reason, a smile pop up in my head. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
maybe.
I'm not sure.
So at that time now, Sting started thinking that I'm gonna take over Shaggy and produce the stuff, and I'm like, I called him up and I said, dude, I ain't no producer like that. I only produce when I have to find a record. I produce Supercat because I have to find a record. You can produce all you want. If you don't give me a hit, I'll make that shit myself.
Yeah.
Straight up. Okay, and it's my money and my business. And if I decide to work with this guy, I want your support. Because you're the man, me and you're good. Because I know him before I know Shaggy.
Right.
And and we decided. So I went back to the accountants and I tell him I need another meeting to clear the agreement and fully understand. And that's when I made a deal with Shaggy, and I told him, if you don't like what I'm doing, you can leave 6 months, because anybody do me like what Supercat do me, I'm gonna personally kill him myself.
Yeah.
I did say that. And I mean it. You didn't think I mean it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a verbal agreement to start with, of sorts.
The verbal
or there
agreement
a
was,
writ-
no, the verbal agreement was for 6 months.
6 months.
But it was in a company of 4 people.
Oh, okay.
To make it verbal. Verbal agreement can be between 2 people. You have to have a witness, or we call it evidence or witness, whatever. And then after Carolina now started to do well. Well, I got him at the Maxi Pre store.
Okay.
I called up Maxi. I told there was a session with Heavy D, what's her name, Jennifer Lopez, Steely and Clevie in Manhattan. And actually got a phone call from Heavy, and I went over there with Shaggy. And I introduced Shaggy to Steely and Clevie, to Steely mainly, because Steely and I have a history, because even time when I toured Gregory Isaacs back in the days, Steely was a keyboard player in Roots Radix band.
Radix.
Yeah, and I was the one who protects Steely, because Sowell always wanted to kill him. And then Sowell know me a bad boy, so me always I say, Sowell, here what? 2 things. Put that aside, because you know what we can do to you.
Right.
So just rest it. And Sowell knows, Sowell always say, boy, well, him never there, you know, Steely, a dead boy. Because him always play wrong cards on the stage, and Steely always call him out and I say, yo.
Oh, that wrong.
And Steely have him felt that turn sideways. And crazy little youth. But me always like him still, because he's fun. And the girl them always follow him, you know, Steely.
Steely.
What? And anyway, so going forward, that at the time now, we find so much things was happening between Shaggy and I at the time, because between that 6 months, he went on Maxi Pre store and promoting Carolina. Carolina, when I took him off the tour, Carolina is going up the British chart, and I'm paying everything. I'm taking care of him. Before he got on the tour, I was taking care of his finance. I organized him 100%. And we become friends like each other, went to his house where his mother was living, him and his mother. You know, we become like family. And that album, after Carolina, got really big. Climbing up the charts, a lot of things happened in between that. Working, and some of the things that really helped him was his work ethic. He has a good work ethic. Shaggy was very disciplined. And some of the things that came out later on wasn't in the beginning. And maybe it's the same thing for me.
I think his time in the military probably helped foster that discipline that he had.
Yeah. I think though, some of it is because he looked up to me and I had a success. If I never had a success, it maybe would have been harder. Knowing that what I can do.
The track record is there.
Yes. And I just got him on a major tour. Like, this guy just called me, and the night I bring him to see Heavy D and Jennifer Lopez, who was nobody yet, and Steely and Clevie, and he's just rolling. And then he went on a tour. From a tour, he got into the first flight he got onto to go to England, first class flight on Virgin just started flying at the time. Fly to England. When he got to England, he landed in this whole hype. This man is everything to him at that time. I never heard he talked about it like that anyway. So I don't know if he actually mentioned this.
I don't know. I interview him still. I would love to.
Yeah, man. He has a lot to say.
Yeah, but I would love to.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I think he will. Eventually, I see he's promoting the culture and promoting the business a lot, you know, in the
I love that. He's one of the greats in the space. What he has achieved, not many people have.
That's true.
Achieved that.
True.
So you know what the wheels were turning for Mr. Burrell.
Yeah.
And eventually he got him on Virgin.
Yeah, at that time when the success from Carolina,
Right.
we had so many people shouting after him to sign him.
Oh, many
So
labels were after him.
and I kind of helped set it up that way because I know this is the way it goes. Once you have
Bidding war of
a
sorts.
yeah, you have to create a bidding war, and the lawyers like that. They like to see who would come with the
Right,
bigger
right.
check, 'cause, you know. But I was more not looking just for the bigger check. I was looking for a place for him to get him big. Because if I was just looking for the money, Chris Blackwell came in. And Chris Blackwell, I hope I'm not moving too much.
No, man.
Chris Blackwell came in and actually bid against London Record and Virgin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Chris Blackwell wanted. And remember, I have a history with Chris.
Right, right.
So I respect Chris. And up till today day. And I said, oh shit, that's like my boss calling me. So I went over to Island Record. Shaggy and I used to go to Island Record almost every day. And Suzette was over there. We go upstairs and up there. So we decided we're gonna sign to Island.
Okay.
And Ken Berry called me up and said, listen, I think this is where you need to be.
Virgin.
Yeah, and he said, I said, why? And he talked to me, and I said, okay. And I had a meeting with him. And I went back to Shaggy, and I said, Shaggy, a Virgin, you know, Virgin giving us $200,000 more at the time than Island. Island is closing down Mango. And the Mango label was a label that we would have been on
okay.
at the time. And then his whole team, Jumbo and the rest of the team, was going out to the door. Island was changing, and I decided I don't think Chris would have put me on Island Record, because at the time I don't think he see where this would have gone down the road. But he had a vision that Shaggy can be something. He said it to me. Chris said it to me. He said, somehow I believe in you and this kid, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'll find a place for you. That's what Chris said. And he was honest to say that to me. I wouldn't say I regret it, but at the end of the day, I think I made a good decision to go with Virgin because we did well.
How many albums was the deal?
Two album firm.
Firm, okay.
That means they came back out of the second one, even if the first one didn't do well. Wishing the first one didn't do well. So if I didn't have a 2 album firm deal with them, we wouldn't have been successful.
What was the first album with them? That Midnight Love was the second album.
Third album.
The third album?
Bombastic was the second.
Bombastic was the second. Oh, so it was after Midnight Love now.
We transitioned to.
And you see, the info out there is that it was after the second album with Virgin, which is Midnight Love, that Virgin dropped him. So you see, that's how we learned.
Virgin dropped Shaggy because Virgin changed boss.
Okay.
And Shaggy and I think Paul Conroy, if that's what his name, had a conversation about reggae's not selling.
Okay.
And I think at that time that Virgin boss, he thought Bob Marley died with this reggae success. He didn't think anything gonna come after that. So it was an option to pick up after remember we deliver our first 2 commit album. So they pick up an option while Ken Berry was there. The album didn't do well. And of course, all that blame came on me because I was driven that album to be we had a great successful single, Piece of My Heart was a cover.
Right.
And it did well on radio, Never Break. The whole album itself never did well. So Virgin thought that, most of the people thought, well, it's time to move on. We got the success that we wanted and we made our money. Let's not pick up the option. So that, what happened there, when that album, I think right after, I think it was after the album released.
Yeah.
I met with Ken Berry Ken Berry moved on to run EMI.
Okay.
But he was still a part of Influence over the label. Because remember, EMI did bought Virgin. So EMI owned Virgin at that time. Most people don't know that. Virgin now owned by Universal. Yeah.
So Bombastic was the second album. Bombastic was a success.
Very successful. Big album.
Big album, man.
Yeah, man. Huge album. That actually made back the money that we got from Virgin.
Okay.
So yeah. So what I did with the money from Virgin, the first advance that I make sure Shaggy set up himself. House, set up himself. I didn't really too care about me at the time. Sting, the producer, got paid, everybody. Now I'm trying to make sure that the second album do well. So what I did for business-wise, I put that money in an escrow account for the second album.
Okay.
So we paid for the lawyer fee, all the administration costs for the first record out of the advance for the first album. Because what I did, it was $1 million, 2 albums. So split it into $500,000 each album. So I locked away 5. I never went over budget on no project ever in my life. I never really a flossy person.
Right.
No, I was never that kind of person.
The Virgin thing now, eventually, after the third album, which was Midnight Love, the deal came to an end. And did the deal come to an end because Virgin signed Beanie Man? Because that has been a part of the conversation, that Virgin got rid of Shaggy and replaced Shaggy with Beanie.
Well, Virgin set up a new label in America.
Okay.
I think it's called New Tribe or something like that, out in Los Angeles. And they were trying to break more urban act on that label. Shaggy was a pop act. Now, when you're a pop act, or you becomes a pop act, we should not intentionally push him to be that kind of act. And him and I talk about this many times.
That was designed.
Yeah, it was because you have to realize that how the urban market stays, they fluctuate, and there's not much love. You have to look at how Bob Marley was selling and who actually liked Bob Marley. Because remember, Black Americans start getting into dancehall culture and Bob Marley even after he passed.
Yeah, true.
So you're trying to figure out, okay, white America really into reggae and dancehall. Because even Shabba Ranks' success was a lot of young white kids who liked that little swag, and then Shabba Ranks had introduced a lot more of the black urban people into dancehall culture. And even though a lot of people was dingling in it, but it was only mainly like New York and certain tri-state area in those at the time. So, yes, of course, Beanie Man. No, what happened in New Tribe in California, they wanted to put Shaggy over on the New Tribe label. Ken Berry made that suggestion, and I said no. I wouldn't want to go over there because they had, I don't remember, about 3 groups that were doing well.
Okay.
And bless you. And if you find yourself trying to be a part of something where you find you made a success,
right? And
then these guys who's not successful are very popular in that market, they're gonna overshadow you. So eventually you're gonna get fade out because now you're competing with them. So I'm saying to myself, no, I have to keep him separate. Because these guys will stifle him, which was a good decision. And Shaggy and I talk about it, man, because those days we were close. We talk about everything, from private life to personal life, everything. We talk about everything, but open book. The whole business with Shaggy and I was open book. We had nothing to hide, nothing. We was like, we were close. But when Virgin didn't want to pick up the option for the fourth album, now they would have we wanted to get a firm deal for the next 2 albums, and they wouldn't. So they only took the option for Midnight Lover. Right. And then they said Midnight Lover was on a cap. If it didn't do certain numbers, they wouldn't gonna pick up the fourth album.
Fourth one.
Now, I actually was happy that they dropped him. Shaggy was sad, but I happy in a sense.
I've read that he was depressed.
Yeah, he was depressed. He was very, very depressed. The fact not because they just dropped him because of the lingua saying they dropped him and signed Beanie. Then Beanie Man did an interview, said, sure, Shaggy, you're not a Jamaican man, I'm an English man. and actually he did.
Really, but I
Yeah.
think I remember that interview
Yeah,
with him,
and
which
so he
was
said Shaggy an Englishman and was playing on Shaggy's head a bit. So I said, Shaggy, don't worry, man. We're gonna shot it again.
really easy.
We are gonna do it again.
Yes.
We're gonna go. So at the time I was offered a lot of job too to leave Shaggy, and I didn't take any of them. I said, you know what, we're gonna fight it out. So I never leave them. I stick with him. We fight it out until we get right back into motion again.
I think you guys, this is when you got signed to MCA.
MCA.
And the album now that really and truly pushed Shaggy through the stratosphere was Hot Shots.
Hot Shots. That was the first album on MCA.
Now that album, well, platinum then diamond.
Yeah. Gold.
Based on gold.
Platinum,
let
diamond.
me skip out gold and
Yeah.
I think up to this point, based on the stat, it is still the best-selling dancehall album of all times.
Yeah, single album.
Single album of all times.
I think still. I don't think anything past it.
I think the tracks that brought that album along was It Wasn't Me and Angel.
Yeah. The first release on the album was for, I think it was How Stella Got Her Groove Back soundtrack.
Okay.
But at the time the album wasn't recorded. We recorded the album, but the album wasn't signed to them yet.
Okay.
So the soundtrack, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, was the introduction to the label. And then after that we my eyes burning. So
the lights?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, eye drops.
Okay.
Don't have any. So the How Stella Got Her Groove Back soundtrack was a very good introduction to the label.
Okay.
I'm used to MCA records. Heavy D was on MCA, so I used to go there a lot. I know MCA family. I know a couple of people there. So getting into that label was very good for me because I would know to work that place. A few people there I was used to. And that's how Stella Got Her Groove Back soundtrack introduced us officially to the label. So it took us a while to get the deal done, almost a year. The album was out for a year, almost a year before anything breaks off of it. But we was very instrumental in keeping Shaggy motion, and keeping on television, the Hopes for the Love of the Game
doing
soundtrack.
The runs.
Yeah, and we had, then he did Dance and Shout with this Dance and Shout was a Michael Jackson sample. That was a hope for get a lot of airplay, never break. And then I think we did something else. But Shaggy always believed that Wasn't Me was a hit.
He always did.
Always, from the first day he wrote the record. But I mean, he had a lot of other songs that he think gonna be a hit too, because he thought Dance and Shout was gonna be a monster.
Okay.
So it's not just the record. He thought a lot of record gonna be a hit. So
you didn't think that It Wasn't Me was going to be a hit?
no, I didn't think it was gonna be a hit at the level.
At the level that
what I always said with a record, like a story record, because Wasn't Me was
a story.
It's a story. It's not a beat that you can dance to or and if everybody think it was gonna be a hit, why they never played it in the initial when the album came out? And more people talking
Good
like
question.
yeah, and most people say, oh, where are you? You didn't know. Why y'all never played it when the album just came out? And it was there. Y'all never played it. So all of a sudden everybody think, oh yeah man, for me hear the record, dude, only never played the record. Shaggy was one of the person who always
Believed in the song.
that song there. Cause the argument, not because of just the song. Him just start about the argument. And again, that's not the only record on his record and his album. He thought about that. He always thought about other one. He may never mention it, but he always thought about certain songs. And then he have song that he never believed in.
That did well.
But very well. But it's a game. And all of us, this is what we do. We have very heated conversation about songs. I mean, he hit me hard with telling everybody like, yo, Robert never believed in the record, never liked the record, and he took the record, and I'm like, dude, how many records you say was gonna be a hit that never hit? A lot of records. We all had that. But I wouldn't say to you that I ever said the record wasn't going to be a hit.
Yeah,
I just said, this record, to get this record a hit, somebody has to pick up a story on this record. Because if we serviced that record today, if we had serviced that record to radio, they would have flopped it.
Okay.
Because if any radio station liked the record, everybody wanted to play Angel.
Okay.
Everybody thought Angel was a shit, and I always wanted a record like that from Shaggy, the Angel record. I'm so happy that that record came along. That record more like, I would say, Shaggy is the kind of artist that really works hard on every song that he ever recorded.
Every song.
He put everything into every song. And he never back off of work. Don't care how hard it gets, or don't care, even if he's not believing it. Because we did a song named Hope that's really building a lot of traction even now.
Yeah.
He never believed in it.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, he never believed in it. And I could say the same thing like what he said it to me about, wasn't
He didn't believe in Hope.
No, he never believed in it at the first. But then he gave it all he had to record the song. And then when the song done, him say, oh yeah, me see where you go with it now. Me like the song now. And I didn't think Hope would have made the album if we never got for the soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
For the Love of the Game.
Love of the Game.
We were blessed to send out all the Shaggy songs for movies, soundtracks, and we get back a lot. Some of it is just the kind of business that I do.
Right.
I give a good incentive to people to work with us.
Whose idea was it to get Rick Rock on the track?
At first, I signed Rick Rock as a writer.
Okay. Oh.
I signed Rick Rock as a writer.
Okay.
Rick Rock was introduced to me by Brian from Brian and Tony Gold. Brian came to me one night at Mixing Lab and said, Robbie, boy, me have a little writer here, you know, and me want really, if you can, listen to him. So I say, yeah, man, what you mean, man? Me never say no yet, you know, into anyone.
You never say no.
Never say no. When it comes to music and I want to hear.
Yes.
Because you never know what you're going to hear.
True.
And then this nerdy looking man come and me say, boy, yeah, man, boy, me say, boy, yeah, me a writer, you know, and thing. And me say, all right. And I give him a rhythm. I give him a track, and he went back and he came back. The next day, the man come with a beautiful song. And I say, yo, you wrote this? I'm going to record the song. And so I play the song for Shaggy. And I say, Shaggy, that youth, yeah, can write, you know. I think, at that time, Shaggy was really mad at me, too, because he was thinking that I had lost interest into his writing.
Oh.
And he said it.
Okay.
He said it. And I'm like, I told him that I don't really lose, you know, interest into your writing, but we need to motivate somebody.
Supplement it.
Yeah, and I think you know, there's so much pressure on you have to be doing. And he never believed in taking ideas from me or taking ideas from some of the people that's around him. He always wanted to write his stuff. Up till today, I think he does that. Wishing he's a great writer, and he come up with great ideas. Very talented person with ideas.
Very creative.
And I never regret a day working with him. And he actually take me up on the offer for Rick Rock writing with him.
Okay.
After Rick Rock being around, and then Rick Rock start writing with Shaggy and then doing all the demos.
Okay.
So Rick Rock would then write a song and then Rick Rock go in and do the demos. And Rick Rock did the demo for Wasn't Me.
Okay.
And I heard the demo and I was like, him sound good, pan it in a Shaggy. Leave him on it. And Shaggy said, yeah, but you know, someone want that record have to go somewhere else. So Shaggy was in his mind hearing the record to go somewhere else. And he said, boy, I don't know how about that record. I don't know if me feel it. I don't know if the record is a record where we can run as a big single or so. Shaggy started to think about the record now and said, well, I don't know if the record is for real, you know. And him give up the record to, I think, Tonto and Levante, and give it out to, like, him give it to two other people who never take the record.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, for real. And I don't know if, I think Shaggy can remember that too. I think he will remember. Shaggy gave up the song, and maybe because of my influence around the vibes of the song, because we have lots of songs, whole heap of songs written, not just those, not wasn't songs. And maybe we all put away songs that could have been big hits. But my mind was always to get that instant record that say, yes, it's a hit. Like me hear Angel, I'm say, yes, this is one of them.
Big song, yeah.
Yes, and me could have hear Angel outright. I couldn't hear it wasn't me outright, like say, oh yes. I know it's a story, and any story record from the history with me, you can, like some Bob Marley record is a story. And if you listen to it and listen to it well and get a chance to hear it, because if we never get a chance to hear some Bob Marley record, we wouldn't even care about them.
Right.
I just sure we get a chance to hear it over and over, and then you get to like it. And I said that about wasn't me. And then Shaggy thought, well then, boy, this boss, Livingston, he never called me boss yet or anything like that. Everybody else called me boss, he never said that. Always, Livingston don't really feel a record, so. At that time, I think our relationship was never, after leaving Virgin and going to MCA, and the kind of things that he had to do at MCA to break him into MCA and work the record, and I had to push my weight and spend a lot of money and put in more effort into breaking him, our relationship started to dissolve. I couldn't find a finger on it to feel what it is, but
It was
I think
becoming strained.
yeah, and I think my power now becomes more powerful, and I think by then, started back off. Anyway, here comes the third single release, Nothing Happened, and I called Jay Boverman, and Jay said to me, because I couldn't push a third single onto the label because the label only gave us 2 singles.
Oh, okay. And the 2 that was released weren't doing it.
So Jay said, Robert, remember, this is on you. I said, Jay, I'm gonna make it happen. And him say, you think we're gonna have to try to push, this is between conversation we shouldn't even repeat, push for radio to pick this record. Wasn't me. Because the A&R always think that record is a hit, but the A&R who himself never pushed the record. All the people who said the record is a hit would never pick up a dollar and say, I'm going to invest in this record. I'll go to the label and get a budget. And remember, my word is not just a word that makes cement. No. If Shaggy insists on doing something, he has money. Everybody could have gone out there and do it. So when the record got played in Hawaii, we were hoping that Fort Myers, Rhode Island, Hawaii, one of those markets like Texas Pickup and Boombastic would be picking up on a record, and then we chased it. Because I'm very good at chasing record. When a record plays, I don't play. I go hard.
Yeah.
And then it played 5 times in Hawaii. When it got played in Hawaii, Shaggy was basically doing a promotion, was planning to do a promotion run between Houston, Texas, and all those places. So my manager for my promotion department in MCA, Craig Lambert, write a whole promotion item scheduled for us to do. And I said, hell no, I'm canceling all of that shit.
Hawaii, where I go.
Hawaii, where I go. So
Makes
I called.
sense. And then you then go to
Maxie was touring Hawaii, planned to tour Hawaii at the time, and I called Maxie agent, who I was very close to, Toby Ludwig, who was a big part of our thing too, and asked him to get a Maxie tour. Maxie accepted. So we jumped and went straight to Hawaii, and we promote the record on the second station that wasn't playing it. I bought some spots and something, and worked some magic, had my promotion guy there. We did work. We worked the record in that market. And then we picked up San Francisco. And then I just picking up states after states, just keep pushing the money and putting the promotion. And Shaggy was right there with it, performing the live concerts and doing well with the people, doing well at the interview. His whole presence everything was just connecting. And we put a lot of paper in behind the song. That's one thing I never scared of doing. Take chances, I believe in Shaggy. Once you get Shaggy started or get him into something, it's gonna happen. Because he can sell himself and he can go out there and represent.
very articulate.
Yeah.
Him have the look, him have the sound, him have the talent.
Yeah.
Good
And
package.
he understand the business of promotion. I don't think he understands the music business of such, but he understands the business of promotion. And understand how the politics of it he didn't care about.
Okay.
More than just one who say, yo, I want this and I'll go forget this. And the thing about any artist or most people is to understand what you have to do to go get it.
Yes.
And I think that's helped him because I got him early. And I kind of drill him into understanding that.
Yes.
And if I didn't get him early, I didn't think it would have been the same.
And that album now, the success of that album, he was doing all the shows, all the big television network shows, the late night, the that, the big events and everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Before that song even break, we did a couple of big TVs. We were trying to keep him up there. We get him on a lot of TV, a lot of big TV. Even before Wasn't Me break.
I think Boombastic was a Levi's commercial.
Yeah, very big.
Big thing, man.
It was the
very
first.
Popular.
It was the first song from the Caribbean that entered the British chart at #1. We knocked out Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was at #1, holding up #1, and Boombastic comes straight in and going #1. I think I have an award for. First, #1 R&B, #1 reggae, #1 hip hop, #1 pop record. Same
Boombastic.
time. Well, I think it was Boombastic and Mavis.
Mavis.
Mavis was #1 reggae. Boombastic was #1. The remix was #1 R&B, and then the pop version was #1 pop. I got a plaque like that. I think it was for singles, like.
And I think '96 Shaggy win the Grammy with Boombastic.
Yes.
Album.
Yes. That's the only
I
Grammy.
don't forget that.
Yeah.
He get a Grammy recently, something with Sting.
Yeah.
I think he has 8 nominations and two Grammys.
Two Grammys.
If the memory serves.
He should have got a Grammy for Hot Shot.
He should have gotten a Grammy for Hot Shot.
Because it was the biggest album after all the album. It was the biggest album that year. Period. Not only on reggae, but period. And then they pull a stunt that it was late.
Oh.
So it came out late. For the period was cut off, but it was crap. You know, it hurts him too because he really put in a lot of work. We worked 24/7. Especially me, I don't sleep. I call everybody late at night, early morning. If I plan to do something, I wake up at night and I change it before daylight. And everybody that works with me used to me. I'm a nightmare, miserable, everything that everybody don't want to know. And they like you the next day, but they realize, oh shit, it's successful. What he was doing makes sense.
They like it the next day.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. It was tough, but the end of the day, we're sitting down here talking about something that if it wasn't interesting, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yes.
So we have to sit back and appreciate the fact that some of the mistakes, some of this bad decision and the good decision had really molded us into a great experience, and also myself not feeling happy today about the success, because the person that I really worked hard to put him up there and make him happy, he wasn't happy.
You know, it's very refreshing to hear you mention the fact that, you know, there were mistakes.
Yeah.
Because some people don't really own up to that.
Yeah.
But there were mistakes and missteps and things that could have been done differently.
Yeah, a lot. Because, of course, some of the things that I'm experiencing is the first time. And for me, I was no manager that did that level of work before. I just calculated and just doing the best for my artists. And I always tell him that if you decided to go to a bigger management company, and also I suggested to him many times to do it, but you know, you can, don't disrespect me, just tell me, and you know, it's okay.
Yes.
But the deal that I had made with him, it was to make sure that I have a security when if he decided to leave me. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be making any money today.
Oh.
I would have brain broke.
And you have writing credits on some of the songs as well.
Yeah, I have writing credit, but at the time I didn't think Shaggy didn't wanted me to be a producer. He just wanted me to be a manager. So my production work came in because I was searching for hits.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily because I was supposed to produce. Sting was the producer.
Right.
I was just supposed to be a manager. So imagine now I was just a manager, did all that work, and he leaves.
Nothing.
You have no piece of the brand. You have no publishing. You just have to go look another job. But
So-
all the brain work that you had created to mold that brand would have just walked away, just like what happened to Supercat. So Supercat deal had taught me a lesson, and also give me an understanding what can happen. Imagine me, I'm 65 years old now, and looking back to go manage the artist, or go back on the road and work hard again to build another artist like Shaggy. Where would I be? And I didn't think he would have looked back on me and say, you know what? Take a piece of this brand. Based on what happened with the whole thing, that or I think and I think people gossip, bullshit, just make it worse than what it is. And what really happened transforms, and the way how everything was going, he was searching to find better, maybe get tired of hearing my mouth, and just everything was just burning out.
Right.
But me protecting myself and what I had, he was very upset about it.
Okay.
Because if you got to understand, when an artist, $1 million come and you get some money, the artist will say, oh yeah, no problem. $2 million come and you keep getting that percentage. And then 10 million come and he said, oh, you're getting so much money. It becomes a problem. And then 20 million come and you're collecting 40% of that royalties. We never made a lot of money from royalties. We made a lot of money from touring and stuff, but I was only getting 20% of the touring.
Okay.
So when a lot of people saying, you might heard this too,
Yeah, man.
I maybe might coming up to the question to say, why, so how much money you were really getting from Shaggy percentage-wise? It's crap, legally and paperwork, and I had never done that. And
I think the agreement was 60-40.
on production.
On production.
Only on production.
Okay.
Not across the board.
Not across the board.
No.
For touring, it was what, 20 or 30?
20%.
20.
And I wasn't getting 20% because I was paying third agent. I was paying other people in other territory out of that 20%. You got to understand, my people that I'm paying around the world was normal. That power that you see Mr. Shaggy has. You think it was just two people could do that? Everybody would have been up where Shaggy is. Everybody, and maybe even surpassed him. Because there was so many talents. Not more money, more talent.
Okay.
Not more money, because there was no money putting in behind a lot of people like what went behind Shaggy. Seriously. It wasn't just talent. Shaggy work ethic and his looks and his performance and his consciousness of understand what to say and how to say it helps a lot. But the main thing was who was behind it.
The team.
Right now, him still have to find a team or a manager. Him can't just go out there and do it himself. If you see him right now, whatever he's doing, he has a team or have a manager, a bigger manager, more smarter than Livingston, more maybe brain and have more connection than Livingston. He wouldn't repeat me. He would have been an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't that, I would say, qualified for the job.
I know, we're not getting into the detail of that, but I know he said something at a symposium type thing, and you did an interview on ER and a lot of things were said and stuff. Will there ever be, or could there ever be a time when Robert Livingston and Mr. Orville Burrell can, sit down at a table and find some common ground, some form of amicable solution to the situation?
Yes, I would say this. Shaggy and I have a history. And we were living so close like family. We were family. And the success of where the failure comes in. And once the failure comes in and things not happening in the same way and everyone looks back and thinking, oh, I should have earned this, I should have done this, it becomes a big wedge into our relationship. Now, Livingston didn't do well. Blame starts happening. So it's normal for anyone to feel like that. And people and gossip and everybody fighting to get what I had built get involved. Now you built a monster and the monster start to eat you out. And remember, Jamaican culture, if we were away in America and not having any present in Jamaica, Shaggy and I would have been together still.
Okay. So you're suggesting that people around him are influencing him?
Not just around him, the fact that some of the people that in our culture hate successful people. They don't like you, period. You should stay broke and don't have anything. The moment you become successful, they throw darts at you. And one of them might hit you in the eye. You can't even see anymore.
True.
Remember, Bob Marley sing about it, you know. And he called me namesake and told me that I will do well. So I can tell you this, that answering your question, I'm open. I saw him one day in Miami and he shook my hand. He was saying hello to Christopher Martin and everybody. And he came over to me and shook my hand and I shook his hand. I could have told him, you know, F off, but I didn't.
Happy you didn't do that.
No, because me and the man have one of the best history of all time. And even though he took a shot at me up to this week, every interview he did on a symposium or anything, he take a shot at me. Every time he take a shot at me. And I'm like, dude. And you'll listen to all his things and you'll see where he take a shot. And tell you the truth, Shaggy wouldn't mind if I go right now, just disappear out of the music industry.
Think so?
I don't think so. If you don't want that, why would you say the things you're saying? I take a shot at a person every time you get a chance to be on a symposium. You beef that bad that you didn't have a success? No, you couldn't say you never had a success, or you couldn't say you never made money, or you couldn't say you got paid, or you couldn't say, oh, I didn't do well.
So what do you think is driving Shaggy's outburst, if you want to call it that, against Robert Livingston?
It could be satisfied or recognize what was done for him. Remember, again, power. Put it this way. You ever seen a tribe with two chiefs?
No, one.
Okay. We both was fighting power. If I built a song, Shaggy maybe want to produce a song. He started his label, he started production, people thought Big Yard was Shaggy.
But, right, and as you said that, wasn't Big Yard supposed to be a collaboration between Robert Livingston? And I think Big Yard actually started in the United States first. And the idea was brought home. Wasn't it supposed to be a collaborative effort between Robert Livingston and Orville Burrell?
Yes.
So, isn't it?
Well, put it this way. Shaggy decided to leave. I didn't say to him F off or anything. So we had two brands. Shaggy brand and Big Yard brand.
Okay.
And you leave. When you leave with the brand Shaggy. Wishing he think the brand Shaggy I had no part with.
Okay.
Check this out. If you think I had no part of Shaggy brand, and you walk and you leave Big Yard, wishing Big Yard is my baby. I invested the money, spent the money. Yes, he had investment in Big Yard, but you couldn't look at it and say, I don't have investment in the brand Shaggy.
So that was suggested?
Eh?
That was suggested?
It was no conversation about it. He just leave.
Okay.
There was nothing to say, boy, here what, me I go leave, make we have a discussion. No, he just cut. And started talking, people start gossiping. Sharon Burke started talking a lot of crap, and it was a whole heap of gossip and bullshit. So there was no discussion. The only discussion we had at the time was not between Shaggy and I, it was lawyers. And some of his royalties wasn't paid to him that I thought he was getting, that he didn't get from Virgin Record. And, you know, but a letter of direction was served to Virgin to transfer all his royalties to him. But it wasn't a lot because he was getting his paid prior to that. Universal stopped sending me statements, so he thought I was getting all the money from Universal. I mean, not in the time when everything slowed down,
Right.
because there was a time when those royalties was very minimal. He had really maybe spent a lot of his money. And it's all boiled down to where everyone start looking back and see not what she should be making, and Robert Livingston maybe never made the right decision. A lot of business people saying to him, oh, your manager idiot. They even brought up the conversation about me giving percentage to Levi's commercial. And a lawyer said, or somebody made a comment, but I'm an idiot to give away points to a commercial. But that points that I give away to Levi's got us in with Levi's and made the record really big. And Mr. Lover was born. So it was a good decision. So the lawyers who were saying that, and I said back to one of them, I said, hey guys, come to Jamaica and sign a new talent. Don't talk about a brand that was already made. Sign a new guy in Jamaica. Let me see how talented you are. Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But this idiot made more than one talent.
You know, though, Father Livingston, you know, having observed Shaggy and I have watched, it is very unfortunate that something so beautiful, something so successful is now steeped in so much controversy, though. It's really,
It's happened because
really unfortunate.
It happened because of the culture. Look at all the artists in Jamaica who are so talented. There's no great relationship between anybody, business people. See the business people over here and the talents over here.
So true.
So how are we going to get along? Once there's that amount of money involved and gossiping, everybody fighting for it, there was no, if Robert Livingston and Shaggy was living abroad and we're having this office in England and America, this wouldn't have happened. The moment you step back here into this market here, no disrespect to Jamaica.
I true you talk, you know, have to pretty it up. That's how we stay out of it, true. I've seen many instances of...
All right, there's nothing happening to a few artists now. Let me go pick up an artist and say, now go boss him. And me hit him tomorrow morning. The amount of talk and the amount of people and the advisors and the amount of people start saying, yo, watch him in a come thief, you know. In just Rob Shaggy, you know. And the artists, they start pre you and him success start get down. And everybody happy because they say, oh shit, me mash him up. All the people that you support and help were making money, people that everybody could even get through, and you bring them in, they becomes a part of your downfall, the enemies.
Yes. I know it took 21 years for you and Mr. Maraj to kind of, you know, work things out. I hope it don't, I think you managed Shaggy from 93 to 2011. That's what it says officially. I could be wrong.
I don't even know.
I hope it doesn't take that long for you and Shaggy to be able to, you know what I mean, have a vibe again like where at least you and Supercat have, you know.
Yes.
It would be good. I mean, it's too historic and too important to the history of the music for the relationship and the two men are still alive for it to continue like that. That's just me.
The difference with Shaggy and I still earn from Shaggy's work. Shaggy don't think he earned from my work. That's a big difference. If you don't recognize someone input in your lives, I will speak highly about Shaggy.
You do.
Anywhere, anytime. Going back, I kind of get a little bit
Yeah, man.
uptight with this whole thing, but it hurts to find the fact that it should be a little bit more relaxing, but you can understand sometimes you do so much hard work,
Yeah.
you put in the effort, you do what your best, and I guess my best wasn't good enough for a lot of people, including Mr. Bombastic. I don't necessarily need to hear him say, boy, I did well for him. I don't even care if he said it, I don't. All I can tell you, my work speaks for itself. And everyone that I had encounter with building Shaggy's career talk to me till today. Record company executive, marketing people, promotion people, people that we had do a lot of big business with. It's important for Shaggy to talk to me, but if you don't, I can say this to you. What he came to me for,
He got it.
he got it. And I wish him luck. Because the more better he does,
The better is for you.
yes, sir.
And just for the record, as I said, I hope, you understand, that
Yeah.
one day, you know, some form of civility
Yeah.
can re-emerge between
And
you and Shaggy.
It can, because when you deep down think about it, even him deep down, most of what we're going to talk is gossip, are built up. It was like something definitely happened. You could say, this is it. Because there was so much people fighting for that pie.
Right.
Robert had to get out.
And I'm assuming, no, after Supercat, you say, you know, manage the artist again. I mean, I assume after Shaggy, you say, you know, manage the artist again.
I said it every day. and I think artists are ungrateful.
Okay.
And I will say that publicly.
But you managed Raven?
No,
No, you didn't?
no.
Never.
I managed Raven at the time.
At the time?
When he was there.
Okay.
It's not like I intentionally said I'm going to manage. I had to manage Raven because
Okay.
in the camp, I wanted everybody to be successful. So anyone can tell you, from the musicians to anybody in the whole camp can tell you, Robert Livingston wanted everybody
To be successful.
and have something. And I insist of that. Ask any one of the musicians then. Ask Brian and Tony Gold. And if I make a mistake, I missed something, I get up the next morning and said, I fucked that up. Shit, I got to fix that. And if I can't fix it, I come out and say, yo, I just messed that up. And I never tell anybody, say, me the brightest boy, me the smartest boy, me a street boy. I was placed in this because I was observant and I was watching the game. And then I played it really smartly and well. And if I don't know something, I hire people that know it. I never ever tell anyone, say, I'm this and I'm that. Tomorrow morning, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
If I really decide to do it. And maybe even be better. The difference with me, my connections and people, I never burn a bridge. And even here in Jamaica, I have a relationship with anybody. If somebody wants a mic right now, I have it. I didn't come buy it with them. Cause anything me want, me get it.
I'm glad to hear that.
I swear to God. Enough of the local young artists then.
Yeah.
And producers who are doing well. I always see them and I give them encouragement, or I give them time, or they come to me or talk, or if they want any advice. Most of the young youth, them know a shot. I had never look at them and say, I don't like what I do.
Right.
People say, boy, the new dancehall, and people are complaining. And I said to them, listen, if you don't like what the youth them are doing, why you don't go produce where you need to hear? Because you not feed them.
Right.
Me not go okay, me not what them do, and me not go look for them and say, me I give them some money. Better them do something. As again, if you're broke, Reggae not gonna give you no money, you know. Now come look for you and come see your food, yeah. So you're fighting a struggle that might not even help you. Look about the food for your plate or your yard.
That's important.
That's important. So this whole new energy that's going on,
Right.
I have nothing against it. More than I said, if there's something that I think are missing, I'll try to fit it in. More than complain about the youth.
Yes.
Come on, say that's not a dancehall. So make a dancehall. Right?
Yeah.
It's a given, bro.
Oh, and I said Raven, and I think you did some managerial work of sorts with Kiprich,
Yes.
Jack Ure,
Kiprich,
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin. Well, Chris Martin, I never managed Chris Martin.
Okay, but
Kingy, my cousin, managing.
King. Okay.
I'm basically I could say yes. I'm supported of Chris Martin, many ways more than one. Even the last couple songs that I produced, guaranteed and all of that. But I always feel like Chris Martin is like my little son.
Right.
But I always think that Chris Martin could have been way bigger. Always waiting to see that point where he ready to go to the next level. And of course, but I had never managed him. My cousin managed him. Kiprich, I always think that he could have gone much bigger. I tried many times to actually transform some of these artists into that person. And maybe I'm spoiled by Shaggy to work with these artists too. And sometimes what happened, you have to let go because they created a world for themselves. And you trying to change that world or transform them to something else is not fair. Because if they leave that and has nothing to come back to, you screw them.
Yes.
Shaggy could have taken the chance.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, Shaggy could take the chance because Shaggy had nothing at that time. He was nobody. So he could have taken the chance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know how you look at it, but
Yeah, very interesting. You know, I never think about it that way.
yeah, it's true.
Very interesting. You also have a lot of credits, production-wise, though. Even though you were never supposed to be a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think My Lady Love with Junior Vibes are your song.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't
Haunted with Cabra.
No, I don't.
No?
I don't remember if Haunted. But some of the songs I don't remember.
Tony Gold. What that song the name again?
My Baby.
I saw the name.
I have.
I'm not sure.
I think I have a couple of songs with Brian and Tony Gold.
Yeah, I have a couple songs with Brian and Tony Gold, but I thought really have some of the hit songs them off of the top of my head, man.
The one them with Shaggy.
Love That Is Real.
Yeah.
Brian and Tony Gold featuring Killer.
Yeah.
Can't Yam Me Out. Nicodemus.
Can't Yam Me Out. I think that was on Supercat. I heard that. Where's that?
Well, me see it and I never see Wild Apache beside me. Just remember Livingston.
Yeah. So yeah. Why some of these songs I can't remember.
A lot of songs with Frankie Paul.
Yeah.
Songs with Tiger. Songs with Lady. Songs with a lot of people.
Jeez.
So you
and I did Merciless too.
Merciless, right?
Yeah, and I did couple big records actually. So yeah, you're right.
So you became a producer.
Yeah.
And so producer, songwriter, management.
Management.
Which aspect of it do you actually enjoy the most though? Probably the easiest would be management, but I'm not so sure.
I actually don't even can say balance out and say which one I enjoy the most. For me, what I enjoy is to make someone successful.
Yeah.
So if I have to produce a song to make that person successful, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And if I have to set up a marketing plan or put some money behind it, I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing artists, even if I'm broke. But they on TV, they're singing the song and they're getting successful. That gives me pleasure. And I want to structure them where they see their royalties, where they organize and they see their business. And I think Chris Martin had really put himself in a good position where he set up his family and set up himself. And I had respect that also. But that's what I enjoyed the most.
Is there artists in the space now or would have passed on that you look back and say, you know, would have enjoyed managing, working, building, pushing that artist?
Yeah, there's a few. I did some work with iActin.
Okay.
That I thought iActin had the potential to be a huge artist. iActin had something, when I listened to that record, what that record called again? Lose a Friend.
Oh, Lose a Friend.
And I listened to that record and then I saw him perform one night and I'm like, this dude can be a big artist. And I started working with him, called up my record label and said, listen, I think I'm going to turn this guy into a monster. And they said, yes, we were ready to do this one. And I wouldn't mention the label, but they were ready. And then iActin went and did I was telling him to back off of certain songs, certain lyrics, and then he went back and did the same lyrics. And they called me up the next day and played me the record, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
He's one of them. Of course, I also think Richie Loop was a...
Yes, because
could be a big
Richie.
Yeah, Richie Loop could have been one of those artists too. been successful also.
I'm kind of have a sound of a Jew, you know.
Yeah, Richie Loop had and he's talented production-wise.
Okay, yeah.
To get the formula in, I think he was a little bit away from it. But he was one of those artists, and we did some great work together. And who else that I could think of? There's maybe more that I cannot remember now.
Right.
But I also think Raven was one of those artists that I think very, very potential. Rick Rock. Rick Rock is great writer. Had the opportunity to become a monster. And this is another whole story to tell you what happened with Rick Rock and in the camp. But he's still signed to me.
Oh, he's still
Signed to me.
I'm glad to hear that. Too.
Rick Rock and Brian Thompson.
Okay.
If they make $10 tomorrow, they call me up and give me $1. Only two. That anything they do. Everybody else call me up. Like the musician will shout me and say, "Boss, you want me to do something for you or whatever?" They stay in touch with me and care for me. Tony Gold too. Tony Gold.
Brian and Tony.
Yeah, all of the gold them. And it so happened to be like they get some of the worst treatment. Because even now I'm fighting to get them there, get paid for some of their royalties from the success. I mean, wishing it's not a fault of any of us. It's just the fact that they, at the time when they supposed to sign on the portal, they didn't. But it's my responsibility to get them paid. It's not a long period they didn't get paid. It's a small period that they never got paid for, but they will get it. But they heavily get good advances and was heavily to take care of. For me, still have a few people that are still trying to straighten out things for. And I hope I can get to finish it and do it.
So you are deep into publishing then, I think then, man?
Yeah, I wouldn't say deep. What I do and how I did it was the fact that if I decided to sign you and invest money in you, I have to protect me. Because you tomorrow morning, you can get up and leave after I promote you and get you big. And when you leave, if you don't leave anything, what do I do? Because no one ever asks you how much money you actually spend or how much money I owe you. Nobody asks that. Nobody asks that. You have to keep reminding them. Brian and Tony Gold and Rick Rock had never looked at me and said, "Boy, you make back your money." And I never heard them say it. I heard other artists say it about me. "Oh, you make back your money long time." How can you make back your money when you invest something? It's not about the money that you make. Right? If you were trying to make back your money, you'd just do something else. You know, so it's a pretty tricky game.
Seems that way. I'm learning.
Yeah. Just like what you have here, you have content. And you can say to yourself, how successful can you get, or how successful can we make you get? Because you're spreading the message for us. And you're representing the culture and the music. Can they recognize you and say, okay, I could say, sure, what can I show you? You're looking show me, not do that. I could have said that, but who am I to say that? I don't think I'm big past you.
Some people say it though.
No, me not think so. And this is the difference even when I built a studio here in Jamaica. People, even Shaggy was saying, "Boy, Jamaica can't do nothing for me, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, you will regret saying that. We have to have a presence in Jamaica where we can help pass on what we're doing and show people.
Yes.
It hurt me eventually. Maybe he was right. Because of all the things that I mentioned back in the earlier part in the interview, but at the same time, I'm here. And who probably you would see me and ask me questions, and you're seeing me. Sometimes I go downtown, go down the town and then at the lane or somewhere, I look at you and I say, "I see that in a Livingston that." It encouraged them to know where I came from.
Right.
And the success that I made.
And before I forget this, it is really and truly commendable for a boy who did not complete high school to have
a level
got the success
yes
that you have achieved.
Thank you.
As a teacher, I have to respect that.
Yeah,
That's
respect.
that, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Give thanks to that.
Yeah, man.
Now, you and the great Tooth, Gregory Isaacs,
Isaacs, yes.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and D Brown,
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
Two of the greatest men to have done the music locally. Yeah? And you were there during the ups and downs, really.
Yeah.
It is well documented that Gregory and D Brown suffered with substance abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it like, though, being around them to see them moving from the Gregory that you know and the D Brown you know down that dark, winding path?
It's one of the worst things that ever happened to me in my entire life. Two of the person that I really love deeply. Two nice man. One of them rough and bad, Gregory. I'm a dope, I'm a Don.
Yeah.
Dennis Brown, I'm a general way. So, the pleasant, nice, caring, role model, somebody that you would say, boy, nicest black man you can think about.
D Brown.
D Brown. Smile all the time, even in his performance. And then you see this demon thing just come and take him over. And I was right around it. I actually sat one whole night with them in a room. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, me? No, sir.
What, based on your recollection, though, what would have led those two great men down that path, though?
Pressure
From
the society and the people that they face every day.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. If you are a successful person like myself now, I get phone calls every day. From people who have cancer, people who are sick, people who want to go to school, every day. Bob Marley go through it, Dennis Brown and Gregory, me go through it sometimes. I feel like me always want to even come back to Jamaica. But because me can say, no, me not have it today, you know.
I know that phone call them, huh?
So, the pressure from that, and then the also limelight and the highlights of a person lifestyle and the glamour, and you're testing everything out there in the waters. And some of them might be the devil from hell. So you're getting attractive to everything that's... And if you weak in some areas and you're strong in some, you're still a weak man.
You're weak in some areas and strong in some, you're
Still a weak man. You have to be strong in all the areas.
Was there any moment in time that you can recall either of them saying, you know, like them realize where them were going and them really try, you know, snap out of Gregory?
Gregory said to me more, he came right here. And him always respect what I'm doing. And always happy for me. Gregory is one of the most happiest person for me that I can, where him say to me. Like totally glad for me, glad that he saw that in me, glad that he really, you know, give me that chance to. And I wouldn't say just Gregory, the whole team of people at Cash and Carry that had given me that chance to. But Gregory said it to me, that he was really, really, truly happy for me. And I could see it in his face. And every day I look back and I don't even have a picture of Dennis or Gregory in my studio. And I have pictures with them at my house.
Where don't put them there?
But it's every day. It's not an intention.
You don't want to be reminded of
what they want, that they're going through. And seeing that these are the greatest. Me have a picture on my phone every minute. Me look on Gregory. Me and Gregory close in a box. Like,
you know, Gregory a party, man.
What?
You know, Gregory a party.
Hey, Gregory say you forget hurt, man. Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah, I get hurt.
Yeah, I get hurt, man. Same in words, it's powerful.
Yeah.
And he had never mentioned that. More than always want to uplift you. And one of the things I like about Gregory too, and even the whole Cash and Carry crew, and Gregory and Lego, and everybody wanted people to be successful. to have something. Gregory go out and come back, every youth I get something. Dennis, same thing. Nothing never too good for you to get. I mean, I have my bike and something wrong with my bike. Parts are come for your bike. And it was a family. And Gregory on the road touring, nothing never too good for you. Finn gave you. Gregory and Supercat are the only two artists that Missy will go out and bring back something for you, what him buy for himself. Share that. And so the love that Gregory and D Brown brought in the industry in terms of artists' love, it was sad to see them go out like that.
Extremely sad.
Extremely sad.
And so many different levels. I mean, Dennis Brown is the crown prince of reggae. That is what has been bestowed on him.
Yeah.
Dennis Brown is an icon in that space.
Dennis Brown,
icon in that space. And to see those two great men, their life would have been shortened by substance abuse. It's very sad.
And it's not just them.
It's not just
if you look at Whitney Houston, look at all the great talent, they wind up in that same. I have a whole basket that no one knows that I have that basket. That I put pictures of each individual of those abused people in that basket. Not even my wife knows that I have that basket.
I know some of the names they have in there still.
Yeah, man. Really sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
And one of my greatest joy right now in life is to see how the African people are well represented themselves out here in the first world, in the third world, in our Western world.
Right,
because I can't say first world because nobody is first world too. So the respect that I have for them coming forward with the right attitude, the right personality, the intelligence, the brain power, the input of the fun with the music they're bringing forward.
You love Afrobeats?
It's a matter of like, it's our beat. That's where we all get our shit from. So I went to South Africa, 1993, I keep collecting African music. Me have a whole heap of CD. Some of them, you hear all the bus them are passing in South Africa and the music were beating on the bus. And they love our music, they accept us.
They do.
So why we don't accept? I think we do.
Some of us.
Some of us, but me can tell you this. And the world is opening up because they're not coming in with a brute force to abuse you or take over. They just said, come on.
So come have fun with it.
Have fun with us. Listen to what we're saying.
That's why I get for choice still. I get. I true. Looking at the journey, yeah? When you assess it, is there anything we ever sit down in your quiet time and you talk to your wife or your kids and say, you know, say, I shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't do that way there?
Oh shit, I have a list. This paper can't hold it.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I've even been a manager.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
You regret that sometimes?
It's not a matter of regret. It's a matter of you think after the fact. You see that after the fact thing? Sometimes you put in a position where you have to make, you have to make a decision, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like you're in the game thing on television, and you're looking at the thing and you say, "I too aided, you know," and you call it, "Oh man, it's one."
One.
You have to make a decision. So I'm one of the person who would sit down and say, "Boy, DJ, I never do that one good, you know."
Yeah.
That one day slipped past me. He never answered me yet. 4 or 5 times I said that to him, but he had never responded. He might don't even write, I call it, I remember. Road manager said something and me said, boy, you know, so I messed that up yesterday, I never even called the man. Should have called the guy and I messed up, so here I hold that one day, sir. Because I messed up. I can tell you, I'm a perfect example of up.
Yeah.
But guess what? It had never detrimentally cost us things that cannot be fixed. And I'm really glad for that.
Yes. And as I say, it's really refreshing to hear you say, things go bad sometimes.
Yeah, man.
Because none of it not perfect.
Even better decision could have made for Shaggy to be more successful. But at the end of the day, he could have been also not as successful as where he's at. Some of the decision was made, good decision, maybe outweigh the bad ones.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, no, you said maybe. I said maybe. Yeah. Well, the history show that you guys did well.
Very well. And I can say this, I wish the playing field opened up for a lot more Jamaicans, because we're one of the things that a gentleman asked me something the other day. He said if I think I'm one of the smart. I said no. I'm one of the one who make use of my opportunity. But there's more smarter people here than I am, and maybe would have done better than I am because they're more educated and thing. But I was one of the one who make use of my opportunity.
Sure did.
It's still, I wouldn't look at myself and say, yes, I'm the best. No.
When you assess again, you have had immense success. Yeah? Is there a moment or a thing that happened or something that when you reflect on it, it gives you a sense of gratitude, a sense of satisfaction to say, yes, this is a part of Robert Livingston's legacy. This is for my children, my great-grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren to look at and say, yes, he was a great man.
Shaggy, signing Shaggy.
Shaggy.
And
great moment in time.
Yeah, and also the collaboration that we both had. Shaggy and I was the perfect example until we part. People in Jamaica was hurt to see us end up the way we end up, because we were a great example. Same thing with Specialist Dylan and Shabba Ranks. And why people don't talk about Specialist Dylan and Shabba Ranks is because a lot of people never really had that interaction or that experience with both, like they had with Shaggy and I.
Right.
Because we had really a different time. So each time a new set comes in, it have a lot more modern. And remember at the time when Shaggy and I was working together, we never had social media like now.
Right, true.
And people look at me and think, say, a lot more could have done for Shaggy. We never had social media. Hellway would have done way better. And there's way more avenue of earning. But
true.
Yeah, true. We did, because at the time my FedEx bill could have banked me up. I paid money to send out songs and CDs like crazy. That's money that you could have saved. That could have stayed in the pocket. 5, 6, 10, 15, 20, 50,000 record CDs shipping out, and sometimes they just get thrown in the garbage. And you had to ship out a new set. But going back to that is like, a next thing that I made some good decision, and for Shaggy success, I made way more better decision, good decision than the bad ones. Yeah.
Yes. Is there anything musically that you still hope to add to your legacy though, that you think you need to cross it off of your list and say, yes, that's done and dusted?
I don't actually have a list.
Hypothetically speaking.
I just think that I need to help break 2 more artists from Jamaica. Now Afrobeat doing well, and I'm glad for that to happen, for people to see that it can happen.
Yes.
And the attitude they have, the personality they have. If you notice, all of these guys, even when they get on TV, they're happy, they're doing well, they're really happy for the success they get. And you see Burna Boy come out here and perform as a tough that you see him smile so much, you like,
You're happy, man.
It show that great feeling.
Yeah.
So that's something that I was happy that's happening, to show my people that, this is actually an example.
You want to bring back somebody to that level again?
Yeah, because it's here. We have it here. We have it here, trust me. And there's no boundary anymore. One time it was only ghetto people. Now anybody can do it.
Yes.
Uptown, anywhere you come from.
Round town.
Anywhere you can come from anywhere now.
So
even
true.
actually reggae artists now don't even have to come from Jamaica anymore.
So true. So true. So true.
Yeah, so at least we blessed to have a genre that's worldwide recognized. And we need to be appreciative and thanks for that. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people Latin America struggled to find reggaeton, find a representative,
A genre.
a
for
genre
themselves.
to represent them. Africa fight for years with more money and more power. Look at Jamaica. We just run through like, like
Achoo. A long time we are lucky though.
we are lucky dog for a long time. Man.
Long time.
And then you find a lot of idiot like me run through them and say, oh God, why? Oh, him get through that.
Yeah.
But it's a joy though. But I must say this, a lot of great talents are here. And I really hope that we could master some more.
It would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah,
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Sir Livingston, like we know we have a lot more things we could talk about. The book, how advanced is that?
I think I don't get there yet
Okay.
to even say to you how advanced. And sometimes I say to myself, don't want to talk too much, because once you start me off, I'm going to talk. And as you can see this in this interview here.
Yes. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but you can't hold back if you mean something. Are you genuinely into it? Of course, the book, people are going to be well mad. I hope you can edit this and make it a little bit shorter, because they're going to be really mad at me.
No, but my people, them love the whole heap of hours to sit down and watching it, so everything all right.
Yeah. So, but the thing about this culture itself and this industry, we need to actually happy for each other. We need to join force and recognize that when artists and managers and producers having a beef, please, people, don't add fire. Don't add fuel to the fire.
Right. We live for that these days.
You understand? And sometimes try to go in and try to make peace.
Pacify
with people.
things, man.
Yeah, man. We don't talk about things. We don't have meetings. We just break off and have lots of very... And
a lot of vitriol.
But some people mine are like that, you know. I learned that. Some people mine are like that. They definitely, even the artists.
Them thrive on that.
Them thrives on that.
Which is true.
Yeah.
It's very sad
I think it's successful for Shaggy to get rid of me. Definitely. It's very more successful for him. And he's his boss now.
Yeah.
Because the new manager is not going to be able to say, hey, well, I go on Ray. Because him and I had that culture. Now he's the boss. The chief can't come.
Sir Livingston is a joy to sit down and, will a reason with the man. Greatness, man. And I sincerely appreciate what you have done with the artists that you have worked with. Because a lot of those men have now set the foundation for other people to come. A springboard. You know, there was a Shaggy before a Sean Paul and so on. You understand what I mean? We're specialists did with Shabba for opening up the door there, so on and so forth. So it's men like you and specialists who have, helped to shape and mold the music what it is, man. I appreciate that, man.
Respect that.
And as I say it again, I hope say one day when we talk to either you or Shaggy, the man them can sit down and have a drink and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them things, man, and all of
I have a Sean Paul bit, but I didn't say it because I have it in my book. So.
You have it in your book. When the book ready, as I said, that's why I ask where there, because people are going to say when the book ready.
No, it's not ready.
Whenever it's ready,
it's not ready.
We're ready to purchase it and read it, because a lot of the history there, what we are trying to acquire too.
Sure.
You understand?
And actually the generation that's coming now, we need to let them understand something that about the business that
very much.
We need to, I think a lot of them are not interested, but eventually they will.
They will be.
Yeah.